It's kind of like Mitch Marner's, like, prove yourself in the postseason. No, that's so mean. I'm a big fan of Mitch Marner, and it's not easy to play in this market. And I think a lot of hockey fans were thinking, oh my gosh, it's not easy to play in this market because, as you mentioned, like the Toronto Scepters were the team to beat after the regular season, and then they lose in the first round to Minnesota. They lose the league's top scorer, their top scorer, Natalie Spooner, to injury, and everything just fell apart, and Minnesota pulls off this reverse sweep. And I think, they did a lot of reflecting this past season, and their GM, Gina Kingsbury, was just saying, we want to be consistent, and we want to show that we can perform, and if any team comes into our building, they're going to be stealing points from us. Like, they're going to be physical, and that league is physical. So I feel like it's even going to be dialed up this season because players sort of know what they can get away with. I think the refereeing got a lot more consistent as the season went on because it was a little all over the place when it started. Like, what can we get away with? And some players stepped on that ice and they didn't even really know that body checking was allowed. They hadn't consulted the rule book, but they all have, and they've all watched action if they're just coming out of the NCAA. And I think Toronto is going to be very physical and tough to beat, even though they don't have Spooner in the lineup early on.
Yeah, I'm fired up for the Scepters season opener on Saturday. I'll be there. I'm a season ticket holder member, so big. Yep, I'll be there. I'm looking forward to it. I assume I'll probably see you around the rinks as well. But one last thing on this, we're looking at Scepters, and you mentioned Natalie Spooner. I actually was curious. I can't find any updates on like when she might be back. Like, did anybody disclose that, or it's just kind of like she's not ready?
Yeah, so she had circled Saturday on her calendar to come back, and then in speaking to the Scepters head coach, Troy Ryan, he just said, you can circle things on your calendar and hope for things, but like medically it probably wasn't possible, although she is progressing at a rate that they all said was better than you would expect.
All right.
For a ligament tear, but he said his planning is that she will not be back in the lineup in the month of December. So he's not counting on seeing her for at least another month.
Okay. Important info we're spreading here on our pregame show for the Maple Leafs. We appreciate that, Christina. No, it's all good. This was great. We'll let you go. The game's just around the corner. Appreciate catching up. But I'll see you either on Saturday at the rink or hopefully a Sunday soon to come at Shinny.
Probably both. Yes. Thank you very much.
No problem. Thanks so much. This is Christina Rutherford of Sportsnet.ca ahead of Leafs and Panthers.
Some big Toronto hockey news there. Yeah, to be without Spooner for a month.
Shoot that out on the text here, folks. But no, it's a big weekend here in the city. Scepters kicking things off Saturday to start the PWHL season 2. But nonetheless, we'll focus on the Toronto team in action tonight.
Yeah, I got a question for you.
The Raptors. I'm just kidding. They're playing tonight.
Do you consider the Maple Leafs a defensive juggernaut?
I think I would not have, but I have seen the things that you've seen online, like the smart people numbers about having some of the better defense shutdown defensemen that we've probably ever seen in terms of like that pairing of Jake McCabe and Chris Tanev, right?
I wasn't alluding to that.
Oh.
But yeah, I mean, I think that's actually one of the more undertold things about this Maple Leaf season so far is that they completely switched the pairings, and it feels like Tanev and McCabe can go up against anyone.
They're one of the best ranked in the entire season.
If Riley and Oliver Ekman-Larsson can hold their own, then that might be the preferred optimization there, at least on the back end. But what I was looking at numbers just in terms of their game results so far. And only 4 teams conceding less than 2.5 goals per game. The Maple Leafs are one of them with Dallas, Minnesota, Winnipeg. Those are 3 of the most defensively staunch teams in probably the most defensively staunch divisions in hockey in the Central Division. Clearly, goaltending has brought value because they're 10th best in expected goals, but still one of the 4 best in terms of actual goals. So the goaltending is part of it, but they're also part of the team. Like, if you're going to be a good defensive team, you're going to need to have a good goaltender, and they do have that. But I feel like the games have changed, and this is where we're seeing Berube's impact on the group. This season, they're averaging about 3 goals for and 2.5 against per game. And that is so depressed compared to, last season, 3.6 goals per game against 3.1 against. The season prior, 3.4 goals per game against 2.7 season prior to that, 3.8 and 3.1 like it's been an underseason for the Maple Leafs, who are scoring a little bit less. And there are indications to suggest that will improve. But the most powerful thing there is that they're giving up far less. That's part of goaltending, but part of just being a different team in terms of their defensive structure. The only teams playing in lower scoring games so far are the Ducks and Blackhawks, and they're only in that category because they don't score themselves. So the Maple Leafs are so much different than they have been historically. And again, shift to shift, game to game, do you see it? But now that the numbers are bearing that out, it makes a lot of sense where they're going and what's powering that. Part coaching, part goaltending, and as you mentioned, a really, really good shutdown pair with McCabe and Tana.
No, I think that's like really like comforting because that's eye test versus like numbers. And I think when you watch the Maple Leafs, you feel that way, right? Okay, well they seem to be a bit better defensively in their own zone. They're keeping pucks out of the net, and not to like throw shade at someone like Samsonov, but there was a long stretch last year with whatever goalie was in net where there'd be an ugly one. But it just hasn't felt like there's been knocking on wood, because I don't want that to happen tonight, but a period of time where you've been like, man, the goalies are just letting the team down, or they just can't get the puck out of their own zone. They're playing a lot more north-south than previously, and that's the Berube plan, right? When he was hired and what we heard about him, he's tough and he's like no nonsense, but he's also different defensively, and I think it's nice to see the numbers backing up what it feels like the eye test when you watch these games, and clearly they're going to need that tonight. There's a lot of offensive power on the Florida Panthers, and they're a hungry team to get a win tonight. This means a lot for both sides, so hopefully you can keep that rolling. And Stolarz, as we were just mentioning before Christina came on, has a lot to play for tonight. It's like kind of a big pride game for some of these guys. Like, this is a big moment to play against your former team. You're now on a spot where you're playing a lot better than your old goaltender tandem in Sergei Bobrovsky. So hopefully Stolarz can rise to that occasion. I have no reason to think he can't, because he's been very steady. Feels like he's got a lot of like mental fortitude. Like nothing's really shaken him yet. Tonight's a great opportunity to keep that going. Yeah,
I think it's a fascinating moment for Anthony Stolarz, because there's no bitterness there. Like, I don't think he would trade his situation last year for really anything other than the opportunity he's getting right now, which is to be a number one goaltender in the NHL. But part of him, probably in his previous stops, have been like, I think I could be that guy. I think I can be the guy who's going to be leading a team, a number one, a true number one. All I need is that opportunity. And behind a $10 million goaltender in Sergei Bobrovsky, even if you were routinely outplaying him, you're probably going to go back to the guy who's making all the money because, well, you made that investment as a team and you kind of have to stand by it. It's almost a seniority thing. It's definitely a financial thing. But now he has the opportunity to step away from that and prove that he can be, if not as good, but better than Sergei Bobrovsky in his chance to be in Sergei Bobrovsky's position. So this has been a year where he's just had to prove himself as able. And now he's got the prove it moment within the prove it season in a lot of ways. And I think that's a really, really cool spot just to analyze tonight, but also an opportunity for Stolarz to kind of step out of the, well, I'm unflappable, I'm routinely putting up great numbers, this is who I am, to be tested in that regard in some ways. Because this one, despite it not being, in New York or LA or a Canadian market, Original Six, whatever, it's in Sunrise, Florida, but it's as big as it's going to be for him, I think, than any other game this season. So interesting to see how it plays out. Pretty big for Steven Lorentz as well, who got his ring as well today. He said to Kyle Bukauskas there on the Sportsnet feed that the ring is, quote, the size of a friggin' dinner plate. And it looks like it was. He mentioned that obviously for him, he's had an amazing couple months. He went from winning the Stanley Cup to joining his hometown team, the Leafs, in just this span of time. Says, quote, it's like a dream come true after my other dream come true almost. I'm just over the moon. I'm just enjoying this day after day. I don't know how long it'll last. Again, I got no words. So pretty awesome to see that for him. He's got the big Florida Panthers thigh tat, right? The Stanley Cup thigh tat. Maybe. Thankfully, he's got two thighs. I'm not up to date with everyone's thigh. I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure he's got the thigh tat. He's got two thighs, though. He's going to have to get the second thigh tat with the Leafs if he's going to. Like, isn't that weird? So you got two thighs. It's weird when you're in an NHL room and you got another logo tattooed on your body, but now you got the ring. I mean, you're fully entrenched as a member of the Panthers, but thankfully for Leaf fans, he's got a second thigh. Okay, on the other side of the break, we'll go through the keys to victory, our player to watch, and the lineups for tonight. Obviously, no
news coming in from Bet365. Must be 19 or older. Ontario only. Please play responsibly. If you or someone you know has concerns about gambling, visit connectsontario.ca.
From the biggest stadiums to the coziest holes in the wall. From house parties to porch hangs to pride celebrations. From your favorite fuss shop.
Hey, Insiders. Thanks again for helping me create this amazing place to hang out together during every single Toronto sports game live. Now, you guys remember the SickKids Create 100 campaign that is done for 2024. And we just finished up, you'll remember a few weeks ago, we put a post out that said the $26,087 is raised as a total for all of the Create 100K creators. Well, we actually had a little bit of an accounting adjustment at the end thanks to some of your donations, which took it to just over that number, $3,000 donated, and now a total of $6,500 as a community in just 7 months. Thank you for sharing the link out. Every single view, every time you share it out and somebody clicks it, it's making a difference with our community and our donation to SickKids Hospital. Now let's get back to the hockey. Go Leafs, go. Great work, Insiders. Let's keep it going and do even bigger things in 2025.
31,000 items in stock in our own warehouses, with customer service reps on the line to get you what you need when you need it 24/7, 365 every time. Maybe you heard it here first. Want to hear more? Visit uline.ca. ULINE, your shipping and industrial supply specialists.
It's the holidays, and SiriusXM's Doctor Radio is here to help with a Healthy Holiday Survival Guide. Enjoy your holiday meals without overdoing it.
Trying to avoid indigestion, bloating, and reflux.
Managing you and your family's mental health.
Seasonal depression, relationship struggles, stress, and burnout.
The Healthy Holiday Survival Guide. All day Friday on SiriusXM's Doctor Radio. Channel 110 or listen on the SiriusXM app. Spread the word. Anyone can enjoy SiriusXM in the car during our Listen Free event. Happening now through December 2nd.
The biggest plays.
What a save!
Hits.
Hard hit.
Goals.
McDavid scores!
Tune to NHL Network Radio for the most in-depth hockey talk on the planet.
He is the GM of the Minnesota Wild.
Insiders.
The revenues and the big business.
And the best analysis on the air.
Alex Ovechkin!
The NHL on SiriusXM. Hear every team and your hometown call. NHL Network Radio. SiriusXM 91. And on demand with the SiriusXM app.
Score!
24/7 hockey talk.
To understand that you are allowed to legally still check the head, not just the head. The head by itself is a penalty. If you wanted to change it, that would be like in the IIHF. That's probably a penalty at the Olympics. That's probably at the World Juniors. That guy's gone and suspended. I ask you, do you want that?
SiriusXM, NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91, and on your schedule with the SiriusXM app. Hockey 24/7 on SiriusXM NHL Network Radio.
The only two players in the history of the National Hockey League to have 600 goals, 1,600 points, 3 Stanley Cups, and 2 Conn Smythes. Wayne and Sid. Just like it absolutely blows your mind how good Sidney Crosby is and how much we take him for granted.
SiriusXM NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91, and on your schedule with the SiriusXM app. NHL Morning Skate.
Logan Thompson with the Washington Capitals. So talk about a team that kind of found their oats again.
Yeah, we brought in a lot of young guys who, have a lot of talent, and we're just looking for fresh starts. And credit this dressing room and the leadership that was in this dressing room. They brought us in, and we just gelled so natural. Guys are playing up to their caliber and proving everyone wrong, and it's really fun to see. And
NHL Morning Skate with Scott Laughlin and Gord Stolarz. Weekdays 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91, and the SiriusXM app.
The National Women's Soccer League Championship game is coming to SiriusXM. Hey, it's World Cup winner Heather O'Reilly of SiriusXM FC. Join Jessica Charman and me for the first national radio broadcast of the NWSL Final. That's right, Heather. We'll be taking you through every thrilling moment live from Kansas City. Join us as we make history at the 2024 NWSL Final on Saturday, November 23rd at 8 Eastern. And it's on SiriusXM FC channel 157 and streaming on the SiriusXM app.
Take good care.
This is Molson Leafs Hockey. On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Leafs Radio Network. There's a Molson with your name on it.
Welcome back to Molson Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network. Eilish Forfar and Justin Cuthbert for your pregames and your intermissions. It's Leafs and Panthers and Sunrise. And we're, Got enough tattoo talk for the next decade in this room. Okay, let's get you set for puck drop.
No context to that, eh? I guess we don't want to further dive into
before
it.
the break.
Well, not everyone was. We're resetting. Steven Lorentz, the tat with Florida, now facing Florida. There's room for the Leafs. It's all good.
It's all good. Okay, so let's do your key to victory, brought to you by your Ontario Honda dealers. Up your game, Lisa CRV from 2.99% up 28 months. Up to 28 months. Visit HondaOntario.com. Justin.
Yeah, I think it's Anthony Stolarz coming to prove a point. Again, no hard feelings. They probably have a great relationship, he and Sergei Bobrovsky, but I think in the back of the mind of Anthony Stolarz over the last little while, last year, maybe on the Cup run, he's thinking, I could be that guy. I could be better than that guy. I could win a Stanley Cup with the Florida Panthers. So you're in Sunrise. You're back in Sunrise. You got your Cup ring. Now prove that you're the number one starting goaltender on the ice in a head-to-head matchup against the guy you were behind on the way to a Stanley Cup with the Florida Panthers. If Stolarz meets the moment, rises to the occasion, is better than Sergei Bobrovsky, which he has been to this point this season, I think the Maple Leafs are in really good shape tonight.
Kind of sounds like you took my player to watch. But
well, let's get to the player to watch, presented by Bet365, whatever the moment. It's never ordinary at Bet365, must be 19 plus. Ontario only, play responsibly. Visit ConnexOntario.ca. If it's not Stolarz, Ailish, then who?
I'm going to go with Mitch Marner. We've talked a lot about Mitch Marner.
There's been a reason to watch Mitch for the last couple.
I got a couple of reasons why. Traditionally against the Panthers, he's cooked. He's got 35 points in 26 career games against the Panthers. That's 12 goals and 23 assists. And then in history of the NHL, he has the most points per game versus the Panthers all time in terms of like points per game. 1.35, more than Eric Lindros, Nikita Kucherov, Sidney Crosby, and Alex Ovechkin, who are a little bit below him with a minimum of 25 games played. So I guess he's the best ever against the Panthers. So I'm going to have him do something good tonight. And he has traditionally, as we just went through in our pregame show, been pretty unbelievable over this stretch. The Leafs were 7-1 without Matthews, and Marner's leading in terms of time on ice against elite competition in the entire NHL. He's had a multi-point game in 7 out of those last 8 games, and he's on pace for a career year over 109 points. So Mitch Marner to get a goal, plus 210, pretty good value. To get 2+ points, which he is continuously doing, is plus 150. So I might just put a couple things together with Mitch Marner, but I'm going to have Mitch Marner as my player to watch.
There you go. It's all coming together for Mitch Marner. This has been, as we were talking about before, one of the best stretches of his career. He's definitely stepped up in the absence of Austin Matthews and leading the first line without Austin Matthews for the Maple Leafs. So let's talk about those lines as they are presented without their captain. Marner, Tavares, McMahon, that line has been rolling. Marner leading the line and maybe giving question or pause to the possibility of putting him back with Austin Matthews when they come back, because it's been so good with Tavares, but they will stick together on the top line tonight. Second line, Nick Robertson still searching for impact with Pontus Holmberg and William Nylander. His brother, Alex Nylander, will be on the right side of a third line with Nikita Gurbenkin and Fraser Minton. And the fourth line will be Alex Steeves, Connor Dewar, and Steven Lorentz. Couple injuries for the Maple Leafs that they're dealing with.
That's a Marlies lineup.
More than just Austin Matthews, of course, but that back end remains pretty solid. Morgan Riley, Oliver Ekman-Larsson, Jake McCabe, Chris Tanev, and Simone Benoit with Connor Timmins, Yanni Hakanpää on the outside, looking in with Anthony Stolarz starting and opposed to Sergei Bobrovsky tonight.
James Myrtle tweeted out something I wanted to raise here. William Nylander's line mates tonight have 1 point in 18 games and 3 points in 19 games. This is going to be tough. Willie's been driving a lot of his own offense, but to be paired up with Holmberg and Robertson, I don't love it. I want to see the Nylander brothers together.
Okay.
They're born, like they have the connection. Let them play on the same line.
Yeah, it would be pretty cool. And again, the argument to, Austin Matthews and Mitch Marner shouldn't play together is not so William Nylander gets saddled
to play with these guys.
With those guys. No, you want Max Pacioretty available. You want Matthew Nyes available. You want David Camp, I guess maybe to a certain extent, available. But the whole premise is not built around isolating William Nylander. The premise is built around giving tools to the 4 really brilliant players you have on your team, the core 4 supported by really good hockey players spread across 3 lines to make sure that 85 to 90% of the time, you have something really dangerous on the ice. I think that's an equation that could work well for Craig Berube. But again, we'll see when Austin Matthews comes back what they plan to do with the lineup.
I will say, I saw today that Alex Nylander is on the top power play unit with the Leafs this morning at morning skate. It was Tavares, Marner, Nylander, and Riley with Minton on the second unit. So that could be a great opportunity to see the two Nylander brothers create some offense. Alex Nylander was having a pretty great stretch there with the Marlies. He can put the puck in the net. So it'd be interesting to see how long we stick with this. But I would love to see the Nylander bros play together. Maybe game one was a bit too much, like to throw them on the same line after they had this big moment, this big debut. But, I think there could be something there. So I'm on Team Nylander ×2.
Maybe you'll see it on the power play tonight if the practice power play holds up.
Do we have the lines for the Panthers?
Let me grab them for you.
Okay, no
for a second. We know it's going to be Sergei Bobrovsky in net, but we have the full lineup here. Evan Rodriguez, Alexander Barkov, and Sam Reinhart on the top line. Kachuk, Bennett, and Carter Verhaeghe. That's a really good second line. Luosterainen, Bokvist, and Semeskovich, Greer, Nosek, and Gadjevich. That is a pretty heavy fourth line. Of course, Ryan Reeves still dealing with the suspension. And Ryan Reeves is no longer really the fighter that he once was, and that he hasn't fought that yet this year. But Gadjevich definitely would have been a dance partner if he were able. But on the back end, it's Forsling and Ekblad. Again, Forsling and Ekblad are so good on the run to the Stanley Cup. Mikkola, Kulikov, Nate Schmidt, and Balinskis on the back end with Sergei Bobrovsky again starting in goal.
All right, I'm looking forward to this one. It's a great opportunity for the Leafs to keep rolling. They've had a really great stretch. We've mentioned it, our 4-game winning streak and 28 points. They're top of the Atlantic, which is something that we've been clamoring for. Win the division this year, get a different playoff opponent, and establish some dominance. And the Panthers right behind them with 25 points, and they're on a 4-game losing streak. So both teams have a lot riding tonight. You got Stolarz and Bobrovsky going head-to-head. I'm hoping that this is the litmus test.
I'm now ready to push back on the litmus test. It is instead a crucial 4-point game.
There you go.
In the race to the Atlantic Division crown.
We'll take it. A crucial 4-point game is coming up right after the break. It'll be Puck Drop with Joe Bowen and Jim Ralph. You're listening to Molson Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Thanksgiving Day. A time for turkey, family, giving thanks, and most importantly, fantasy football. Before the Bears, Lions, Giants, Cowboys, Dolphins, and Packers take the field, get the best lineup advice with fantasy.
Hey, Leafs fans, thanks for hanging out with us tonight. The Leafs go on the road to face the reigning champions, the Florida Panthers. But right now, the Leafs are on top of the standings in the Atlantic Division, 13-6-2. The Panthers at 12-9-1, just behind us. Like Johan said in the pregame chat there, this is the perfect step-up game. The perfect stay-ahead game. Love it. Make sure you guys hit that like button down below. Let's get the win tonight. Please hit that like and share this out on whatever social media you have, or share the link out on the hockey boards. Just the key is get this link shared out, and let's bring more Toronto sports fans to hang out with us here on TSI while we cheer on our Leafs to beat the Panthers tonight. Now let's get back at it. Go Leafs, go. Let's spam it up in the chat, and we'll see you guys back in there.
That would be like in the IIHF. That's probably a penalty at the Olympics. That's probably at the World Juniors. That guy's gone and suspended. I ask you, do you want that?
SiriusXM NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91, and on your schedule with the SiriusXM app. Hockey 24/7 on SiriusXM NHL Network Radio.
The only two players in the history of the National Hockey League to have 600 goals, 1,600 points, 3 Stanley Cups, and 2 Conn Smythes. Wayne and Sid. Just it absolutely blows your mind how good Sidney Crosby is and how much we take him for granted.
SiriusXM NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91, and on your schedule with the SiriusXM app. NHL Morning Skate.
Logan Thompson with the Washington Capitals. So talk about a team that kind of found their oats again.
Yeah, we've run a lot of young guys who, have a lot of talent, and we're just looking for fresh starts. And this dressing room and the leadership that was in this dressing room, they brought us in and we just gelled so natural. Guys are playing up to their caliber and proving everyone wrong, and it's really fun to see. And
NHL Morning Skate with Scott Laughlin and Gord Stellar. Weekdays 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91, and the SiriusXM app.
The National Women's Soccer League Championship game is coming to SiriusXM. Hey, it's World Cup winner Heather O'Reilly of SiriusXM FC. Join Jessica Charman and me for the first national radio broadcast of the NWSL final. That's right, Heather. We'll be taking you through every thrilling moment live from Kansas City. Join us as we make history at the 2024 NWSL final on Saturday, November 23rd at 8 Eastern. And it's on SiriusXM FC channel 157 and streaming on the SiriusXM app.
The best player analysts and insiders live on NHL Network Radio. Brian Burke.
I didn't like Nashville. I don't like the composition. I told you they had too many violins and not enough cellos. So to me, the anticipation was out of line, misplaced. So how do you fix it? I think you got to get back to the very basics. Change the way you play, change your style of play. It's the only thing you can do. You can't change the personnel much.
Get the latest opinion and analysis you need on the home of hockey. NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91, and the SiriusXM app.
Join me, Gord Stellick, and Scott Laughlin as we recap the night that was on NHL Morning Skate, weekday mornings at 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91.
Fan and the Leafs Radio Network.
Florida tangling with the Stanley Cup champions this evening, and the superintendents of the string shanties brought to you by Molson. Molson, everyone in. It is Anthony Stolarz, 7-3-2, making his first appearance against the Panthers after, of course, being the backup goaltender last year in the Stanley Cup run. He has a 2.18 goals against average and a 9.27 save percentage. Sergei Bobrovsky, 9-5-1, 3.18 and an 8.85 save percentage is in goal for Florida as we're underway, and the puck down into the Toronto zone is bunted out into the center ice area and ends up going into the bench area, and so a stoppage of play. Joe Bowen along with James Ralph Esquire here as the Maple Leafs start a southern trip with American Thanksgiving, and this was always a big night in the American rinks because it was the night that you could really let go because you had a long weekend.
And probably started it with a long afternoon heading in.
But what an opportunity for the Leafs. If they have a good outing here and a win, they've got tomorrow off, Friday off, and then into Tampa on Saturday. So tonight might be a South Beach special if they are able to pull a win out of here against the Stanley Cup champions. And the champions on the Leaf side of things, who got their rings today, all in the starting lineup as it was shot down now into the Toronto zone. Stolarz playing it back along the boards on the wing. Knocked down on the play there, and a good hit was McMahon. The puck comes free, and the Leafs are going to launch it high into the neutral zone and down into Florida territory. Rodriguez goes back.
Is there a tripping call here, maybe?
Well, there's a whistle and a stoppage of play. And we'll wait and see.
It was just lobbed out of the Leaf zone, and as soon as Florida went back to touch it.
It might be to Chuck, who seems to have the puzzled look on his face.
Seems to be asking more questions than us.
Get a minor for roughing.
No, roughing is going to be the call. It was Connor Dewar from behind. This was just sort of a Chuck thing to do after Dewar threw it up ice. 2 fists into the numbers, and down Dewar went, and that's good enough for the power play.
Leafs power play has been pretty good over the last 9 games, 11 of 33. Riley getting it back to the point, and a one-timer by Marner is swallowed up by Bobrovsky.
Alex Nylander getting an opportunity here. Brother Willie, Marner, Tavares, and Morgan Riley here in the first unit.
Draw one by the Leafs. And the hard shot by Marner swallowed up by Bobrovsky. Draw one by Toronto. Riley walks the line. Drizzt gets it back to Marner. Saucered it to the side of the goal. Tavares doesn't deliver. It comes back to Marner. Marner into the middle again. Top of the circle. The pass in front. Oh, and Alex Nylander had a glorious chance there, but he fanned on the shot. Now he's able to try and keep it in. Willie Nylander down into the corner. Willie works it around back of the net. Here's Marner with it again. Looks to go back into the corner, then sifts all the way back to the point. Got it back to Alex. Now to Marner. Marner with a shot and a pad save and a good one made by Bobrovsky. Kept in again this time by Tavares. Back to the blue line it comes. And it's knocked away from Riley. And the Panthers, who lead the league with 5 shorthanded goals, get it down into the Toronto zone. Leafs are changing. Second unit coming on with a minute to go in the power play. Riley dropping the puck back. Willie Nylander skating out with it. He hits the red line and then peppers it around the boards to the far side. Leafs get numbers in there to get it freed up, and it comes around the boards, but it's going to get past Nylander and slide all the way back into the Toronto zone. Oliver Ekman-Larsson up against the boards, trying to get away from the forechecking there of Luosterainen. Luosterainen comes away with the puck on the near boards, but the Leafs come out with it, and then it's stolen back, but Nylander is able to get back in time. Nylander heading to the bench as Ekman-Larsson starts out with 20 seconds to go in the power play. Couple of good looks, but nothing in the back of the net. Shot in by Simmons. The puck comes around the boards, and it is shot out and down the ice and right on goal. And Anthony Stolarz will play it up on the left wing side, and McCabe with the penalty about to expire, and the Leafs 0 for 1 with the man advantage.
2 shots on goal, but both from long range on Sergei Bobrovsky.
And an icing call now here against Toronto. We will tell you that Frederick Lacoué and I believe for the first time this year, Wes McCauley are the referees. Killen McNamara and Steve Barton are the linesmen.
Now, you asked me when Joseph Woll got the start in St. Louis if Craig Berube had a soft spot.
Does Craig Berube have a soft spot?
Well, maybe he does. When you look at him starting the 3 former Panthers here in this game tonight.
Absolutely. Great honor. And they had a little ceremony after the morning skate with their rings being handed to them. Puck goes down into the zone. Racing after it is Grabenkin. Grabenkin slams into his man from behind. That started a bit of a kerfuffle. And is that going to be a penalty? It looks like Grabenkin is headed that way.
No, the way to
Balenskis got hit.
71 Toronto minor board.
Boarding?
Okay.
I mean,
it was from behind. Penalty kill brought to you by your Ontario Honda dealer. Up your game. Lease the CRV from 2.99% up to 28 months. Visit HondaOntario.com.
Craig Berube is upset with his. It's at the last second. Balenskis turns. He pulls up and tries to turn, and I don't know if you're Grabenkin how you avoid contact at that point.
So boarding penalty to Grabenkin, and the Leafs are a man short.
Well, considering the first call, this is a penalty.
Yep. Played around the boards by Bobrovsky. And here are the Panthers starting out of their own zone.
Florida 3 for 22 in the last 6 games with a man advantage.
And on the right wing, it comes back towards the blue line. Fed off on the left wing side for Verhaeghe. Down along the boards and around back of the net. Cut off there and into the corner by Tkachuk, who gets it back to the point. Wrist shot coming. Blocked. The rebound is shoveled wide of the net. Kept alive by Verhaeghe on the left point. And now the Leafs intercept, and they send it out and down the ice. Tanev and McCabe to the bench. Brought out now by Aaron Ekblad. He's going to drop it back. Carried through center by Barkov. He goes to the front of the net. Verhaeghe rings the boards with it to get it around on the right wing side. Kept alive there by Barkov. Barkov coming out of the corner. Gets it back into the slot area. And a wrist shot knocked away. Rebound to the near side. Verhaeghe dishes it off for Reinhart. Sam Reinhart gets it back to the point. Point shot coming. Rebound in front and a scramble there. Good block made by Benoit. Back to the point again, and a one-timer on the far side scores. Barkov getting the shot away, and he beats his former teammate, and the penalty to Grabenkin is costly as the Panthers open the scoring.
Alexander Barkov had missed 8 games with an injury, but has been dynamite since coming back. And this is just your basic one-timer from the face-off dot on the right. As Barkov found an opening. I mean, he's there, ready and loaded. the entire time and then just takes the pass. I believe it was Ekblad from the point. Middle of the ice. Looks up, throws it over to Barkov. And I think this gets short side, Joe.
Yeah, it did. Definitely did. So the Panthers open the scoring. The Leafs are in first place in the Atlantic Division, and they have a 3-point lead. So this game will not change their standing. But the last time the Leafs were in first place was November of 2021 when they were 16-6-1 at that point. They come in with a 13-6-2 mark and leading the division this evening. Puck in the corner, and the Panthers are onto it quickly. Mikkola getting it around the boards. It comes back to the point. Kept in there to the right wing side and around back of the goal. Boqvist trying to free it up. Mikkola carries it back in. Poked then by Ekman Larsson back into the corner, but a good cycle job done here by Florida as they try to work it out in front. They score! Samoskevich is going to get the goal, but the cycling work down low against the Leafs Marley unit results in the second goal, and it's 2-0.
Even though the Florida Panthers have struggled of late, this is Panther hockey right here. Get it out from below the goal line, get traffic in front, and start jamming away at it. And very quickly now here in the first period, it's 2-0 Florida. Although there might be Luosterainen was, no, they're not going to look at it. Luosterainen, I thought, might have been in the blue paint in front of the Leaf goaltender Stolarz. But playing on, so Florida up 2-0, out shooting the Leafs now 7-2.
And it is launched to the Toronto blue line where the Leafs are back to recover the puck. Benoit sends the pass up through the slot for Marner. Marner got it back on the wing. McCabe is able to get it in over the line. Tavares racing after it. Forsling comes away with it. And Forsling starts out of his own zone. He'll get to center and shoot it down into the Toronto end. Stolarz out of the goal to play it along the boards, and the Leafs are able to poke it out at center. Marner waiting for help now, just flips it into the zone. And it is Bobrovsky playing it himself to get it out and down into the Toronto end. Timmins will go back after the puck. Goes to his defense partner. Benoit got it ahead. Had it knocked back into the zone. Benoit tries it again to get it through center, but it's blocked. And now brought back in over the line by Nosek. A long shot blocked again. It comes down into the corner. Nosek has it taken away by Timmins. Timmins then had it taken away by Nosek. Centering pass doesn't work. Onto the wing and chipped to the line, but it won't clear. Florida doing a good job of forechecking here. Nosek around back of the net. And it is onto the wing and launched high to center ice by Lorenz. Florida going back into their own zone, leading 2-0 here in the first period. Brought forward by Mikkola, and he sends it deep into Toronto territory. Off a stick, it goes to Pontus Holmberg. He'll roll it down the left wing boards, but unable to get there, any of the Leafs. Puck now stolen back by Nylander. He'll keep it in. He shoots it around the boards to the far side in the midst of a change. Chipped in along the boards into the corner. Trying to work out with it is Minton. Minton looks for Nylander. Nylander along the near board sends it back behind the net for Robertson. Robertson let it go to the defense with a shot to the side of the net by Riley. And now the Panthers with it around back of the net. 2-0 Florida here in the first period. Morgan Riley going back into his own zone. Got it back for Robertson. Nick Robertson off on the wing for Ekman Larsson. He'll play it up on the right side. Riley is able to play it into the zone for Tavares in the midst of a line change. And the Panthers, Luosterainen gets it up on the right side. Across the line for Samoskevich. Samoskevich got it into the right wing corner for the Panthers. Blocked there by Chris Tanev. Bouncing puck. Tanev unable to come away with it. And it's around the boards to the near side, but in the Toronto end. Forechecking diligently here are the Panthers, but the Leafs come away with the loose puck. And Marner starts down the right wing, mishandles the disc, got it back again, and then inadvertently glove passed it ahead to Tavares, who touches it, and that stops play and brings a face-off back into neutral ice. Samoskevich and Barkov, the goal scorers, 2-0 Florida. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Through the years we
welcome your family and friends home with timeless Christmas music and...
Hey, hockey fans. Thanks for hanging out with us tonight. You know the drill. You see the location pin. It's time. Let us know where you're watching from in the chat. Are you watching right downtown Toronto cheering on our buds from their hometown? Or are you out somewhere else in Canada, outside Canada, in the US, Mexico, around the world, Europe, Taiwan, China, anywhere in Asia? It is crazy. Thank you all for hanging out with us. Please let us know where you're watching from in the chat. It's so much fun seeing where we're all gathering from, cheering on our Leafs as they take on the Panthers tonight. Now let's have some fun in the chat. Let's keep it classy and let's cheer on our Maple Leafs. Let's get lots of goals tonight, boys. Go Leafs, go! We'll see you back in there.
And with the SiriusXM app.
The National Women's Soccer League Championship game is coming to SiriusXM. Hey, it's World Cup winner Heather O'Reilly of SiriusXM FC. Join Jessica Charman and me for the first national radio broadcast of the NWSL Final. That's right, Heather. We'll be taking you through every thrilling moment live from Kansas City. Join us as we make history at the 2024 NWSL Final on Saturday, November 23rd at 8 Eastern. And it's on SiriusXM FC channel 157 and streaming on the SiriusXM app.
Join me, Bort Stellick, and Scott Laughlin as we recap the night that was on NHL Morning Skate, weekday mornings at 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91.
Leafs Radio Network.
Leafs injuries up front are still a big problem for this hockey club. They look to get some people back on the weekend, as both Matthew Nyes is due to come off injured reserve on Saturday and is likely to play. And Austin Matthews is on the trip and is likely to be back in uniform as well. But Max Domi and Max Pacioretty and others are still nursing injuries as the Panthers get it out at center. Jovic with a shot that deflected wide of the goal, and the Maple Leafs start back up ice. Carrying to center is Connor Dewar in on the left wing, and a shot from an angle hit the side of the goal. The puck goes around back of the net. Steven Lorentz getting it back to the point. Near side now for Timmins. Timmins with a shot. Steered away by the stick of Bobrovsky. It comes back to the point. Dewar doesn't shoot it. Then when he did, it was blocked. And the Panthers have rolled it out and down into the Toronto zone. Both teams are changing as Timmins goes back to recover the puck. Connor Timmins to center. A pass up on the right wing. Gets it in over the line as McMahon sends it back of the net. Tavares couldn't block it away there from goaltender Bobrovsky, and the Panthers are back into neutral ice, sending it down into the Toronto zone. They lead 2-0. Barkov around back of the net. Rodriguez trying to help out there as he was pinned to the boards. The Leafs get the puck free, and Tavares with a backhand pass to get it to center to Riley. Gets it in over the line. Marner going into the corner after it. Tried to get it in front of the net, was too well covered. And then a pass up on the wing is able to be pushed by Rodriguez down into the zone, or at least Sam Reinhart getting it down around back of the net. Verhaeghe and Tkachuk both have had tough starts defensively. Verhaeghe is -18 and Tkachuk is -7. A pass into the slot area by the Leafs doesn't connect. And the Panthers get it out at center. Panu and Jake McCabe up on the right wing side. Shot into the Florida zone. Bobrovsky slowed it up and up, but it is McMahon into the corner after it. Now Alex Nylander trying to look for a man in front. He's got Fraser Minton stationed out there, but they can't get him the disc. And now the Panthers into the corner. Stolen back by a pass in front, and a shot rings off the post on the drive. Blockered away there by Bobrovsky. Back to the point, Leafs keeping it in. Good play there by Alex Nylander to find a man in front. And it's gone off the stick and up into the screen. And Fraser Minton comes close to his second professional goal in the National Hockey League.
Already a goal and an assist in the 2 games since his recall.
Please welcome tonight's Coke Florida territory.
Yeah, nice little backhand pass from the boards out to the slot. Fraser Minton beats Bobrovsky, but not the goalpost.
You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Over to our sideline reporter. Download the app and see why it's never ordinary at Bet365. Must be 19 or older. Ontario only. Please play responsibly. If you or someone you know has concerns about gambling, visit connectsontario.ca.
Fall for Subaru by enjoying fall to the fullest. Think scarlet, burgundy, amber, crimson and copper, but never, never blue. Because with Subaru's symmetrical full-time all-wheel drive, fall is for thick, dark mud splats, terracotta mountain roads, radiant sunsets, kaleidoscopic leaf carpets, and the boldest of adventures. Avoid autumn blues and visit your local Subaru dealership to book a test drive today.
Desjardins Insurance cares a lot about their clients. In fact, it's packed with such a ginormous amount of vast and substantial care that's bursting with even more whoppingly humongous and colossal care. You might be a little surprised when we tell you that all of that care fits in the palm of your hand. With the Desjardins Insurance mobile app, you'll get a big hand with 24/7 paper-free access to all of your home and auto policies, including your digital pink slip. Get insurance that's really big on care at Desjardins.com/care.
You're listening to Toronto Maple Leafs hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Leafs Radio Network.
Joe Bone along with Jim Ralph. Austin Mackey pushing the buttons. Armin Zagarian pretending that he's in charge. As the Leafs trail 2-0 here to the Florida Panthers. At the point, Oliver Ekman-Larsson's shot didn't get past the forward in front as Mikkola blocked that. The Leafs get it back of the net, though. Robertson trying to come out with it. Now sends it around back of the goal. Pontus Holmberg trying to free it up, but is in tough quarters there. Got an arm length away. Now left it there for Robertson. Robertson looks in front, comes back to the point. Oliver Ekman-Larsson can't find an avenue to shoot it. Now from an angle, that rang off the goal post on the far side and came out the back door. Leafs again to Robertson, and he mishandles the puck as he was able to step in front. Back to the point in the drive. Big rebound, and it's going to be cleared to the line, but not out. Nylander to the left wing side, and shot Bobrovsky down. They bang away on a backhand shot, and it's cleared, but not out. Robertson is going to keep it in. No, he's not. He falls, but is able to get it under control out at center ice. Best flurry the Leafs have had. And Bobrovsky was flapping around there like a wounded seal on the beach. Brought back in over the line by Tanev. Down into the corner it goes. McMahon trying to work out of the corner. Too well covered. Pushed ahead then by Nosek. And it'll be played deep into the Toronto zone by Gadjovic. Puck along the boards. Up on the wing. Tavares couldn't get it out. Around back of the goal now for Thomas Nosek. Nosek got it back to the point. One of the Leafs fell. Then a shot deflected wide of the Toronto goal. It comes back to the point. Another shot blocked there. And a good save made by Stolarz. And the Maple Leafs come away with the loose puck. And it is Jake McCabe playing it out and down the ice. Icing waved off. Both teams will get a change. 7:08 to play in the first period. 2-0 Florida. Forsling for the Panthers. Got it out into the center ice area. Kulikov backhands down into the Toronto zone. Florida gets it free, and a shot from the slot area rang wide of the Leaf goal. Timmins. That all started when Stolarz couldn't stop the puck back of the goal.
And he actually redirected it out front, didn't he?
Had a piece of it, not enough of it. Kulikov up on the left wing. Rodriguez gets it down into the Toronto end. Benoit will send it around the boards, and it'll be chipped out into the center ice area, forcing Kulikov back into his own territory. Got it ahead now for Rodriguez. Evan Rodriguez sends it in, and a whistle will stop play. And a faceoff coming in the center ice area, I believe, with the Panthers leading 2-0 on goals by Barkov, as well as Maki Semaskevich.
The game I think you looked at and you worried because the Florida Panthers lost 6 of 7 coming in. The Leafs are 9-2-1 in their last 12 games and are on a season high 4-game winning streak. And the Florida Panthers are healthy. I mean, there's no reason for their losses, and the Leafs have been able to win despite some rather significant minuses in the roster department.
Banning on the shot at the point there was Forsling. The Leafs trying to take advantage. Alex Nylander got it in over the line, and a wrist shot by Minton was steered aside by Bobrovsky. Puck in along the boards now. Here's Grabentkin getting it back to the point. Fired in around the boards, back of the net for Nylander. Alex works off the wing, gets it back towards the blue line, but no one there. And it's come all the way to center ice, and that's forced Morgan Rielly back into his own zone. Leafs are changing. Oliver Ekman-Larsson gets it ahead. Turning back into his own zone was Pontus Holmberg. He gives for Willie Nylander, who got to the blue line but had it knocked off his stick, and counterattacking now is Verhaeghe. Rolled it in, and that went wide of the net. Luskarainen into the forecheck as it's cleared high. Out and down the ice. Icing is going to be called, and it's coming back into the Toronto zone as a result with 5:16 to play in the period. And after the Leafs come to the 2-0 lead, they've probably had their best couple of shifts of the game.
Yep. Now they were last game out in Washington, down a couple of goals twice in the game, including late, and were able to battle back. So this becomes part of the process of, okay, you're down 2, stay with it. Don't try to leave the zone early. Don't try to create odd man rushes in the first or second period when you've got lots of time to get back into it.
Called patience. Oh, there's a shot that was deflected, and a quick leg move by Stolarz was able to stop it and then pounce on it. Face-off coming in the Toronto zone. It is 2-0 in favor of the Florida Panthers, the Stanley Cup champions. And you're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan, Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Sports Grid Radio on Sirius XM has you covered this.
Hey, you. Yeah, you. The one that's hanging out with us listening to the hockey game on the radio. Yeah, the Panthers and the Leafs. How come you haven't subscribed yet? Let's go. Take a second, check that out, get out of the chat, hit that subscribe button down below, and turn on the bell so you don't miss it when we go live for every single Toronto Maple Leafs game this season, as well as every single Toronto Sports live game, and the Buffalo Bills too. All right, with that being said, we're on our way to 100,000 subscribers. We have just passed 61,000, and the climb continues. Thank you to this amazing community for making this the best place to hang out during a hockey game. So thank you for hitting that subscribe button and becoming an insider. Now let's have some fun tonight, and go Leafs go!
Opinion and analysis you need on the home of hockey, NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app.
The National Women's Soccer League Championship game is coming to SiriusXM. Hey, it's World Cup winner Heather O'Reilly of SiriusXM FC. Join Jessica Charman and me for the first national radio broadcast of the NWSL final. That's right, Heather. We'll be taking you through every thrilling moment live from Kansas City. Join us as we make history at the 2024 NWSL final on Saturday, November 23rd at 8 Eastern. And it's on SiriusXM FC channel 157 and streaming on the SiriusXM app.
Join me, Gord Stellick, and Scott Laughlin as we recap the night that was on NHL Morning Skate, weekday mornings at 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91. Network.
Barkov and Samoskevich have scored for the Florida Panthers to give them a 2-0 lead here in the first period. 5 minutes to play. Puck turned over here. Reinhart with a shot. And that deflects up into the screen and out of play as Marner, trying to get a pass from Chris Tanev, had to go right by him, and that turned the puck over in a rather dangerous area.
To a rather dangerous person. Sam Reinhart, 16 goals coming in. Actually, the last 2 years now. Sam Reinhart's 1 goal behind Austin Matthews. Matthews was 74. Reinhart now is 73. Although Reinhart has now played 10 more games.
Puck down in the Toronto zone. Back of the net for McCabe. McCabe starts out with a rink-wide pass to get it in over the line. Marner got around one man but couldn't get around the second. Reinhart got it up on the wing, and Barkov will just get it to the center ice red line. Leafs have it there. McCabe fires it right back in again. Down the boards, Marner. Nylander sifting in behind, hoping for a loose puck to develop, but it's the Panthers who get it to the line, but not out immediately. And Ekblad circles back into his own zone to settle the puck. Forsling waiting for his teammates to change. Snaps the pass out into the center ice area. Brought on now by Sam Bennett. Bennett pulls up, looks around back of the goal for Verhaeghe. Verhaeghe too well covered on the boards. Got some assistance there from Oliver Ekman-Larsson, the Leafs did. And Riley will play it off the boards and out at center ice and chipped by Stevenson over the line. Connor Dewar trying to get a race to the puck but couldn't get a shot to the net. Comes around the boards to the near side. Unable to keep it in. The Leafs now back at center. Good back checking there by Oliver Ekman-Larsson to free the puck up for Connor Timmins. Timmins will bring it down the right wing boards and shoot it in. Takes a hit for his efforts. Down into the slot area. A tip pass for the slot was intercepted. Samoskevich gets it back in. Makes a nice move to get wide. But Benoit took him efficiently into the corner. Now upended along the boards. Timmins trying to get the puck free, and Nylander does, but now can't get it out. Benoit will chip it out at center. Alex Nylander couldn't get in over the line cleanly, then got onside just to allow his man in. Nylander gets the pass, looks for a man, gets it back to the blue line, but the Leafs were changing their defense, and McCabe couldn't get there in time to keep it in. Leafs will now dump it into the offensive zone. 2:53 to play in the period.
The puck not bouncing a lot.
Well, it's made out of vulcanized rubber.
No, but if the ice is bad,
yes.
Too well.
Yes, it does. And this ice has historically not been amongst the best. It has something to do with weather, I believe. I don't know. Could be.
Like
Edmonton is always said to have the best ice.
You know, in Philadelphia in the mid-'70s, Freddie Shero everybody thought he was brilliant because he used to make the Flyers practice with tennis balls, helping with puck control and bouncing pucks and everything. Well, it worked for 2 years anyway, 74 and 75. But just, looking for guys trying to battle for possession, it seems the pucks bouncing everywhere.
Leafs get it into center ice, but Willie Nylander couldn't get a rush going. Now he gets a pass up on the wing for Pontus Holmberg, and Holmberg turns it back into his own zone. And then a pass is deflected off the stick and gone up into the crowd off Sam Reinhart's stick. So it'll be brought into the center ice area for a face-off with 2 minutes and 19 seconds remaining in the period. Lord out shooting Toronto 10-8, and those two shots are the difference in the game as it's 2-0.
Some of the decisions or the business decisions the Florida Panthers are going to have to work through. Sam Bennett is a big part of this Florida Panthers team, an unrestricted free agent at the end of the year. Literally get Sam Reinhart signed July 1st of last summer.
Puck in the corner in the Toronto zone. Tavares hooked to the ice. The puck comes around on the near wing to Marner. He frees it up for Tanev. Tanev finds his defense partner, and McCabe getting it ahead on the left wing, trying to drive in there behind the goal. There's the Maple Leafs' Bobby McMahon. The puck's still free. McMahon centers. Marner is there. Got it back to the point. Riley shooting. And a glove save made by Bobrovsky to stop play. Best scoring chance the Leafs have engineered right there.
Yeah, even though they had that great shift where they had a lot thrown towards the net, nothing was really clean cut. And this one, Mitch Marner pokes it back to the high slot, and John Tavares was in front of Bobrovsky, but Bobrovsky guessed which side to look. And that was to the left of John Tavares, and that's exactly where Morgan Riley fired it.
Face off in the Florida zone. Pushed back of the Panther goal. Kipped up on the wing. Verhaeghe gets to the line and in. Kachuk working in there against Morgan Riley. Got it played up on the board. Played back to the point. Kept in now by Florida. Off on the wing, and a shot towards the net went well wide of the goal. And time and space here for Marner. Marner gets it off to Morgan Riley, and Riley will get it airborne into the Florida zone, but it's out of the reach of Nylander. And so an icing call coming here with 1:20 left to play in the period. Face-off in the Toronto zone.
Steven Moran's heard in an interview today talking about how cool it was having the ring. Now, are they going to have to claim that when they get back?
I'm not doing any of that. No, sir. I wouldn't talk about anybody coming back across the border about declaring stuff, Mr. Ralph. That's just inappropriate. I'm shocked that you would even bring it up.
I'm curious. Don't be judgmental.
I think it's well over the allotment. You know, sir, you're only allowed to bring a couple of $100. It's plastic. It's plastic. Don't worry about it. No, it's just part of my jewelry collection. Benoit back in his own zone. And that pass goes off his stick and into the Toronto bench with 47.8 seconds to play in the period.
And would you wear it and just hope nobody noticed?
Well, I'm pretty sure the metal detector would go off.
You're only allowed half a carat.
Really?
No, that would probably be a little high.
You don't know that for a fact, do you? The last time you brought half a carrot back to do a sandwich.
I've lost a few carrots.
Puck down into the area back of the Leaf goal. Canada's going to lift it high into the center ice area. Knocked down. The Leafs almost got a chance there. That looked like it was a penalty as Connor Dewar was taken down with a bit of a knee-on-knee. Canada and the Leafs back in their own zone. Up on the right side, Pontus Holmberg off a stick and into Florida territory. Dewar into the forecheck. Takes his man to the boards. Pontus Holmberg couldn't keep it in. And the Panthers get it back at center. And Verhaeghe has stood up there on a good hit by Connor Timmins. Never mind a bouncing puck. Benoit blew a tire there trying to get to the puck behind his own goal. So your thoughts on the ice may be bearing a lot of fruit here as the horn goes to end the period and the Leafs trail 2-0.
Well, it comes down to the special teams, right? Leafs get the first power play. It doesn't go, and Florida gets theirs, open the scoring. But I did like the Leafs' response, Joe, after Florida made it 2-0. I thought the Leafs had a little more push than the Panthers. Although now you're in that position where Anthony Stolarz is going to have to be pretty much close to perfect the rest of the way for the Leafs to try to chip away at this 2-0 deficit.
So the 2-0 lead for the Stanley Cup champions on the board after 20 minutes of play. Eilish Forfar and Justin Cuthbert coming along with our first period intermission. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
It's a Thanksgiving tradition, the NFL on Sirius XM. And it all begins tomorrow at 12:30 Eastern with the Bears and Lions.
70 yards from Jared Goff.
Followed by the Giants and Cowboys. Then the Packers and Dolphins.
Tua fires, touchdown Miami.
Hear the action on NFL Radio 1088 and the hometown announcers on your radios and the Sirius XM app.
Spread the word. Anyone can enjoy Sirius XM in the car during our Listen Free event, happening now through December 2nd.
The biggest plays.
What a save!
Hits.
Oh, hard hit.
Goals.
McDavid scores!
Tune to NHL Network Radio for the most in-depth hockey talk on the planet.
He is the GM of the Minnesota Wild.
Insiders.
The revenues and the big business.
And the best analysis on the air.
Alex Ovechkin!
The NHL on Sirius XM. Hear every team and your hometown call. NHL Network Radio. Sirius XM 91. And on demand with the Sirius XM app.
Score!
24/7 hockey talk.
To understand that you are allowed to legally still check the head, not just the head. The head by itself is a penalty. If you wanted to change it, that would be like in the IIHF. That's probably a penalty at the Olympics. That's probably at the World Juniors. That guy's gone and suspended. I ask you, do you want that?
Sirius XM, NHL Network Radio. Sirius XM 91. And on your schedule with the Sirius XM app. Hockey 24/7 on Sirius XM NHL Network Radio.
The only two players in the history of the National Hockey League to have 600 goals, 1,600 points, 3 Stanley Cups, and 2 Conn Smythes. Wayne and Sid. Just like it absolutely blows your mind how good Sidney Crosby is and how much we take him for granted.
Sirius XM, NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and on your schedule with the Sirius XM app. NHL Morning Skate.
Logan Thompson with the Washington Capitals.
So talk about a team that kind of found their oats again.
Yeah, we've run a lot of young guys who, have a lot of talent, and we're just looking for fresh starts. And part of this dressing room and the leadership that was in this dressing room, they brought us in and we just gelled so natural. Guys are playing up to their caliber and proving everyone wrong, and it's really fun to see. And
NHL Morning Skate with Scott Laughlin and Gord Stolarz. Weekdays 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app.
The National Women's Soccer League Championship game is coming to Sirius XM. Hey, it's World Cup winner Heather O'Reilly of Sirius XM FC. Join Jessica Charman and me for the first national radio broadcast of the NWSL final. That's right, Heather. We'll be taking you through every thrilling moment live from Kansas City. Join us as we make history at the 2024 NWSL final on Saturday, November 23rd at 8 Eastern. And it's on Sirius XM FC channel 157 and streaming on the Sirius XM app.
The best player analysts and insiders live on NHL Network Radio. Brian Burke.
I didn't like Nashville. I don't like the composition. I told you they had too many violins and not enough cellos. So to me, the anticipation was out of line, misplaced. So how do you fix it? I think you got to get back to the very basics. Change the way you play, change your style of play. That's the only thing you can do. You can't change the personnel much.
Get the latest opinion and analysis you need on the home of hockey, NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app.
Welcome back to Molson Days Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network. Ayla Schwarfar and Justin Cuthbert for your intermissions. It's a 2-0 lead for the Florida Panthers at home against the Maple Leafs in what was not an ideal start for the Blue and White.
No, it wasn't. It was the ideal start from the Florida Panthers, though. That looked, smelled
that looked like real Florida.
Stanley Cup champion Florida Panthers, where they were just relentless and all over it. And if you want to sleepwalk into a game, if you want to tiptoe into it, they're going to take advantage. Mm-hmm. That was very Florida Panthers-esque of last season. Felt very familiar, which is an unfortunate thing, I guess, if you're the Maple Leafs, because, that clear pecking order that we saw develop last year, maybe it's not so different.
Yeah, we spent a good part of our hour and a half pregame talking about the Leafs and Panthers, and talked about how since November 12th, the Panthers were in a pretty bad spot. 32nd in team save percentage, 32nd in goals against, 32nd in record. They were 1-6 in that time, et cetera, et cetera. You get the point. They were basically bottom of the league in the last 7 games, but that did not look like a team that was playing poorly. They came out motivated, hungry, probably a little pissed off, and they had every kind of right to do that. This is a team that wants to be in the top of the Atlantic, and the team they're playing, the Maple Leafs, kind of in cruise control going into that first period, probably feeling really great about their stretch where they're 7-1 without Austin Matthews. They're ahead of the Panthers, a 4-point game, really, when you look at it. And it just looked like they didn't have their foot on the gas, and the Florida Panthers did. Yeah,
I wonder how many times the Maple Leafs have been trailing by 2 goals in their run without Austin Matthews, accumulating that 7-1 record. We could probably look that up quickly, but built to come back without Austin Matthews, maybe not so much, right? Like, if you want to play that really consistent 5-on-5 game, shift over shift, you're minimizing chances on either side. You're taking advantage with your top end guys. You're playing with the margins being kind of thin. That might be good without Austin Matthews. Chasing a game, though, against a Florida Panthers team without the guy who can do the special things, putting pucks in the net, it makes the task a little bit more difficult. So, yeah, they're going to have to put their minds together in the intermission, come up with some ways to get some offense going. But there was a really good shift by the second line. Maybe it should be 2-1 based on the quality of that shift, but Bobrovsky did enough with the help of goalpost to make sure it's still 2-0 for the Panthers.
Yeah, I think the biggest difference in what we just saw in that first period than what we had seen maybe over the last 8 or so games, the Maple Leafs, where their defensive zone was a mess. They looked discombobulated and standing, facing up ice when the puck was behind them and not covering man. And I think obviously when you have a lot of new bodies, like when we went through this roster, there was quite the collection of names that have not played the most NHL minutes or have not played together. Like some of this will come back to bite you when you're playing a completely different structure with completely different guys. It had been working for the Maple Leafs as of late, but tonight just felt like everyone in this first period was on different pages, not really clicking. I felt like Minton looked really young on that shift where the second goal was scored. Like he just kind of got out-muscled and looked out of place. But then he goes out and he had a really great stretch. He hits a post. Like that's the kind of bounce back you want from a kid. Obviously, not going to write his NHL career in 1 or 2 games, but how can you have a poor shift where you're a minus and then bounce back in your next shift where you're almost getting yourself on the score sheet? That's the kind of bounce back that you want from a young kid, not to let it sink in that, hey, I just got scored on and it was kind of ish my fault. I was glad to see that he kind of got right back into it.
Yeah, maybe not predictable that exact mistake would be made, but that's what the Florida Panthers do. They make you make decisions very quickly deep in your own zone because their forecheck is so good. And if you're not sharp, pucks are going to squirt out into dangerous areas, and that's definitely what we saw on the second goal. The first goal, Alexander Barkov's goal, was the product of a power play that was earned with Nikita Grabenkin taking out his man with a bit of a hit from behind. There might have been a bit of a turn on that, but it was probably the right call in the end. So they jumped all over it, right? You open the door, Florida can crash right through. They certainly did so in the first few minutes of that period, and now they can do the other thing that Florida does really well, which is sit on leads. So you're kind of seeing the whole Panthers Stanley Cup experience tonight, unless the Maple Leafs can change that narrative.
Yeah, good opportunity to show a little bite. I don't think Anthony Stolarz or Steven Lorentz or OEL got too much of an opportunity to look at the scoreboard there, but there apparently was a really nice tribute for each of them individually throughout the 3.
Are we getting one per period here? Or do we have all 3?
I think they've all
okay,
all
only
3
saw
have
the
happened.
Lorentz one.
Luke Fox has a good thread going on, and so do a couple other reporters that are there in person, but it looks like they all got their own individual moment, which is really lovely. Yep, I'm looking at this one. A tribute for Anthony Stolarz, standing ovations, tribute for Steven Lorentz, and a tribute for OEL. So it was nice. They kind of spread it out. You don't have to do that. You can just slam them all into one commercial
Sure, but if you win a Stanley Cup, you clear the bar. I mean, we criticize some of them coming in through Scotiabank Arena. Win a Stanley Cup, every time you come through, you should be getting a standing ovation.
I got a tribute at Scotiabank Arena.
Sorry, what?
I got a tribute at Scotiabank Arena.
How do I just know about this now?
When I was the in-arena host on a maternity leave for a season.
I know your job.
I got a tribute video, and it was like my last.
You came back?
No, when it was my last one, and they had I'm like, guys, this is embarrassing. I shouldn't get a tribute video. Yeah, I didn't do
Honestly,
anything.
I'd choose you over, I don't know, the lowest on the rung.
Thanks.
Justin Hall definitely, I guess, was not that guy. He's the one that popped in my mind. But there's been, honestly, less contributions by some people who have gotten compared to you.
Okay, I appreciate that.
In the arena 41 times, upping the entertainment value.
I'll take it. I didn't win a cup, though. Okay, we'll take a quick break. We'll do the out-of-town scoreboard, which is a busy one. 15 games tonight.
Thanksgiving tomorrow.
Get ready, NHL. Justin. That's
we better
your
leave
job.
some more time for
I know. We'll take a quick break. We'll be back. You're listening to Bulls and Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan, the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
From the biggest stadiums to the coziest holes in the wall. From house parties to porch hangs to pride celebrations. From your favorite fuzz shop to your local Indian spot. From noodle bars to sports bars to salsa bars. There's a Molson with your name on it. Canadian Ultra XL. Molson. Everyone in. Must be legal drinking age.
Heard of Uline? You know.
What's up, insiders? How we doing tonight? All right, buds. 2-0 down. What the heck is going on? Not a good start for our Leafs tonight, but it's all right. We've got plenty of time. 40 minutes left. Watched the last couple minutes of the period there. That's why I was kind of dark in the chat, and it was. Wish there was more for me to be excited about, but well, I think we're all right. I think we get it done. We're gonna get a couple goals, and it is so awesome to see everybody in the chat tonight. There, Northern Farm Girl, John Slattery, Rod Bottomley, Wilfred Witzke, Veronica, Miss V, Mr. Roboto, Alexander Skal, Brad Smith, Connor Goth. Love it. B-Man as well. Cheers. So hey, we've got some fun. We got to catch up here in the second period. We've got to get at least one and probably two. Let's tie it up and go in. At least tie it up and go into the third. That sounds good to me. Nova Blast, go Leafs, go! There you go. Teresa Rego. Hello, Teresa. How are you, Teresa? There you go. Hello. All right, hi. Got it. All right, there we go. Got to get this SickKids thing off. I was from recording the video there. Guys, what a crazy turn of events there. I posted this back, God, it was probably 2-3 weeks now. So just go back to the community tab, check it out. That was the total with our projected donation for October, and we actually went a little bit above and beyond that with some of the awesome donations there at the end with the baseball playoffs, and that put us to a grand total for the Create 100K as a whole up to $26,145 if you round it up. But a little bit higher there than the $26,087. I love it. Guys, thank you so much. Over $3,000 this community raised together during just hanging out together, just being here, hanging out together, listening to sports, chatting it up, keeping it classy, and I can't thank you guys enough. We're over $6,500 donated in 7 months. Guys, 7 months, that's insanity. What are we going to do in 2025 for Create 100K? It's going to be a lot of fun. Great to see everybody here in the chat. Let's go refill those cocktails. Get loud in that chat. The chat's popping off tonight. We're having a lot of fun in there. We'll see you guys real soon back in the chat. Go Leafs, go. I'll leave the poll running there. Looks like Willie. Sounds like Willie. Everybody thinks Willie's going to get that first goal for the Leafs. Let's get it. Go Leafs, go.
Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network. It's a 2-0 lead for the Florida Panthers after 20 minutes, and lots going on tonight. The eve before American Thanksgiving. So let's take a look at the NHL scoreboard presented by Bet365. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary. Bet365 must be 19 plus. Ontario only. Play responsibly. Visit connexontario.ca.
All right, let's do it. The Rangers and Hurricanes are 2-2 nearing the end of the second period. The Wild have a 1-0 lead over the Sabres, also late second. The good times continue to roll for the Blues and Jim Montgomery, 3-0 over the Devils right now in the second period. End of one, the Lightning have a 2-0 lead over the Capitals. 1-1 Canadians and Blue Jackets. Red Wings holding a 1-0 lead over the Flames. The Penguins have a 4-1 lead, end of one, over the Vancouver Canucks. Bruins up 2-1 over the Islanders, and the Predators have a 1-0 lead early on versus the Philadelphia Flyers, still to come tonight. Stars and Blackhawks, Jets and Kings, Ducks and Kraken, Golden Knights and Avalanche. That's a good meeting. And the Senators and Sharks will be the nightcap.
All right. And everybody gets a day off tomorrow. But if you don't play well, you don't get to go to the elbow room.
No, unless you've been.
Unless you've already been to the elbow room.
Unless you've already been, then you did get to go.
We'll see how the second period shakes out yet. Leafs trail 2-0 after 20 minutes in Sunrise. We'll send it to Jim Ralph and Joe Bowen. We'll have the call of the second period next. You're listening to Molson Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590, The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
The UEFA Champions League is back on Sirius XM FC, and this year it's bigger than ever.
Absolutely ridiculous from Real Madrid. Merseyside magic from Mo Salah.
Now with more matches featuring soccer's most iconic clubs as they battle it out for European.
Hey Leafs fans, thanks for hanging out with us tonight. The Leafs go on the road to face the reigning champions, the Florida Panthers. But right now, the Leafs are on top of the standings in the Atlantic Division, 13-6-2. The Panthers at 12-9-1, just behind us. Like Johan said in the pregame chat there, this is the perfect step-up game, the perfect stay-ahead game. Love it. Make sure you guys hit that like button down below. Let's get the win tonight. Please hit that like and share this out on whatever social media you have, or share the link out on the hockey boards. Just the key is get this link shared out, and let's bring more Toronto sports fans to hang out with us here on TSI while we cheer on our Leafs to beat the Panthers tonight. Now let's get back at it. Go Leafs, go. Let's spam it up in the chat, and we'll see you guys back in there.
The NWSL final. That's right, Heather. We'll be taking you through every thrilling moment live from Kansas City. Join us as we make history at the 2024 NWSL final on Saturday, November 23rd at 8 Eastern. And it's on Sirius XM FC channel 157 and streaming on the Sirius XM app.
The biggest names in the game.
Trying to get behind, wrist the line, and walks in, put it between his legs, shoots it, score!
NHL play-by-play on Sirius XM.
Join me, Gord Stellick, and Scott Laughlin as we recap the night that was on NHL Morning Skate, weekday mornings at 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91.
Hudson here with an important announcement. You can listen to your favourite SiriusXM FC shows on the all-new SiriusXM app, now available for all subscribers.
Join me, Scott Laughlin, and Gord Stellick, along with former NHLer Mike Johnson for NHL Morning Skate, weekday morning, 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91.
Radio Network.
2-0 in favor of the Florida Panthers as we go to the second period. And the period brought to you by Bet365. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Must be 19 plus. Ontario only. Play responsibly. Visit ConnexOntario.ca.
The ninth time this season, the Leafs have trailed after the opening 20 minutes. They're 3-5 the previous 8. Florida Panthers have held on 8 of the 9 times they've led after the first period. I did like the response. You're -1 in special teams right off the bat. Florida gets one on a scramble, and the Leafs didn't wilt. They actually pushed the pace of play back the other way.
Leafs to the right as the puck is dropped. And the Panthers to our left as it is shot in by Morgan Rielly down into the Florida zone. Bobrovsky punches it around the boards. It'll get to the winger, but trapped by the Leafs and sent right back down behind the net. Mikkola tries the other side this time. Dewar along the boards, got it back to the point. Rielly's wrist shot was directed towards the net, but Bobrovsky saw that all the way. Made the catch, and we'll have a face-off coming in the Florida zone.
This losing streak for the Panthers obviously isn't going to continue. The other thing I don't think will continue is Sergei Bobrovsky's .885 save percentage coming into this game. 3.18 goals against average, still a 9-5-1 record. His last time out, gave up 6 on 24 Colorado shots.
Leafs win the face-off to the right side. Tanev's shot was kicked away into the corner. Al McMahon sending it around back of the net, out of the reach. Tavares and Marner now against the boards. Marner trying to free it up. Tavares into the corner as well. But it comes up on the wing, and the Panthers will get it out into neutral ice. Ekblad backhanding it down into the Toronto zone. Tanev against the boards to free it up for McCabe. He has difficulties in the corner and sent it up along the wall then for Tavares. He couldn't get it out. It comes in front of the goal. Barkowski, though, made an extra pass. It comes free now for Rodriguez. Centering feed, and it's knocked away by Stolarz, and the Leafs are going to get it out at center. McMahon had to go off his skate and push back into the Toronto zone, so he hustles back and now works it up on the right wing and now finds some skating room to his liking. Got it to the line and into the slot area, but off his stick, he gets it back again. Sent it in behind the net for Nylander. Nylander tried to get there, almost knocked down Bobrovsky from behind, and the puck comes back out into the center ice area. Tip to the line, and now Willie turns back into his own zone. Got it up on the left wing for Benoit. Rink-wide pass for Pontus Holmberg. Stood up and knocked down there on a good hit from Mikko Mikkola. Puck along the boards on the left wing, and out come the Panthers into the center ice area. Down the right wing for Samoskevich. He has his 4th goal of the season in the first period as Benoit turns the puck over, and Nick Robertson works in over the line. A 2-on-1 break going to the net. Robertson's backhand into the glove of Bobrovsky and stopped.
I think Nick Robertson had his sights on Willie Nylander the whole way down the ice. A 2-on-1, but for Robertson, he's on his backhand and wasn't really in a great position to shoot, and eventually just ran out of room. Pass was taken away, and Bobrovsky easily snags the backhand attempt, but it was Kulikov, really took away any kind of pass opportunity for Robertson. He said he just ran out of room by the time he got to the Florida goal.
Last 12 games, Nick Robertson has had 19 shots, but has not scored a goal. Puck kept in at the blue line, near side, poked along there by Rielly. Florida will get it out. Rielly shoots it right back in again. The Leafs will have to tag up. Bobrovsky into the corner. Kulikov sends it out, and now the Panthers break it through the neutral zone. Working in over the line with a wrist shot by Gadjevic, and it goes off a stick and up into the screen. And out of play, and a face-off will come in the Toronto zone as a result. 17:29 left to play in the second period, and it is still 2-0 Florida.
Pretty big game for the Florida Panthers as well. After tonight, 8 of the next 10 are on the road. Some coaches will tell you it's a good time to sort of get together as a team, all that team bonding, going out to dinner kind of stuff.
Yeah. Leafs play it out at center ice after a face-off win. Panthers send it right back into the Toronto zone, but an icing call will come as by Florida. Played around the boards by Valinskis and comes to the line. And now here the Panthers in on the left wing. Bennett pulls up there, trying to work in over the line was Verhaeghe, but it is stolen back by the Maple Leafs. Morgan Riley plays it off a body to the line. Chipped in then by Holmberg, but a turnover, and back comes Florida. They'll lift it in as Bennett sends it down into the corner. Bennett tied up by Riley. The puck poked free. Oliver Ekman-Larsson got it to the line, but not out. Shot around back of the net. Bennett tied up there. Holmberg trying to come away with the loose puck. It comes back around to the side of the goal. And Ekman-Larsson got it up on the wing. Nylander trying to jam it up the boards. Couldn't get it out, but now Holmberg does. But the pass was out of the reach of Nick Robertson. Now Riley for Robertson. Robertson waits for teammates to get onside and then launches it high, but it is knocked down there quickly by Forsling. And back out at center ice it comes. Leafs will regroup it back in their own zone. 2-0 Florida, second period. Tavares sends it down into the Florida zone. Ekblad starts back up ice and then decides to curl back into his own zone to allow teammates to change. Rink-wide feed. Looking ahead off the stick of Sam Reinhart into the Toronto zone. Back of the net. Reversed along the boards for Marner. Marner's pass got out at center. And unable to reach it was Bobby McMahon as the Panthers send it right back into the zone. Up on the wing it comes. Tavares couldn't get to it. Neither could McMahon. And the puck comes back up on the near side and played down around back of the net for Sam Reinhart. Far corner for the Panthers. Back to the point. Shot blocked in front of the net. Cleared but not out. Barkov run into a knockdown from behind by Marner to the left wing side. And a shot in on goal. Stopped there by Stolarz. And it's launched high into neutral ice. And it will be enough for icing as it'll come back into the Toronto zone as Mitch Marner got it airborne just to get it out.
That's a big line for Florida that pushes back here. Second period. Matthew Tkachuk very nearly from below the goal line. Banked it off the back of Anthony Stolarz' short side. Stolarz actually read it at the last minute, didn't he? And then Stolarz actually maybe made his best save of the night with his left shoulder seconds later.
Draw scrummed, controlled by McMahon, and he'll push the puck out at center ice to allow some change to happen for the Maple Leafs. Puck comes back into the neutral zone. Shot in by Samoskevich around the board's far side. And Steeves gets it out at center. Shot right back down into the zone. Leafs back at the net. Cleared by Benoit. Up on the wing. Sent back for Benoit. Rest of the Leafs are changing as they get it ahead on the right side. Here's a chance for Marner in with a shot. And he whistled that one wide. Benoit keeping it in off the glass and around back of the net. Forsling missed a hit there as he gets it to his defense partner, and Ekblad sends it high into the Toronto zone, and it was kind of trickling dangerously close to the net, and it was kind of everybody standing around. Who's going to do anything with this? And finally, goaltender Stolarz was able to play it away.
If he thought it was maybe going to be icing?
I don't know. Well, they had to go across the goal line. Now here the Panthers into the forecheck again. Play it around the boards to the near side. Kulikov lost it. Leafs have numbers through neutral ice. Dewar in on the right side. Steeves is at the end of a shift. Got it back for Dewars. And around back of the net. It's played to the left wing side as Riley attempts to keep it in. Riley blocked it initially, but it's cleared to center ice. Now Minton shoots it right back down into Panther territory. Minton along with Alex Nylander into the forecheck. Comes back to the point. Walking the line is Ekman-Larsson, and the wrist shot is into the glove of goaltender Bobrovsky, who holds a face-off coming in the Florida zone as a result. We mentioned the Leafs do not play again until Saturday, when they will go across the state to tangle with the Tampa Bay Lightning, and we'll have that action for you right here on Sportsnet 590 The Fan as well. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Breaking news coming in from Bet365, where every nail-biting overtime win, breakaway, pick six, three-point shot, underdog win, buzzer beater, shootout, walk-off, and absolutely every play in between.
Hey, you. Yeah, you. The one that's hanging out with us listening to the hockey game on the radio. Yeah, the Panthers and the Leafs. How come you haven't subscribed yet? Let's go. Take a second, check that out, get out of the chat, hit that subscribe button down below, and turn on the bell so you don't miss it when we go live for every single Toronto Maple Leafs game this season, as well as every single Toronto Sports live game, and the Buffalo Bills too. All right, with that being said, we're on our way to 100,000 subscribers. We have just passed 61,000, and the climb continues. Thank you to this amazing community for making this the best place to hang out during a hockey game. So thank you for hitting that subscribe button and becoming an insider. Now let's have some fun tonight, and go Leafs go!
The company that does things for you that are unheard of, like keeping 41,000 items in stock in our own warehouses. With customer service reps on the line to get you what you need when you need it 24/7, 365 every time. Maybe you heard it here first. Want to hear more? Visit uline.ca. ULINE, your shipping and industrial supply specialists.
You're listening to Toronto Maple Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Leafs Radio Network.
Barkov, along with Samoskevich, scoring the goals for the Florida Panthers, and they have a 2-0 lead over the Maple Leafs. Both goals coming rather quickly in the first period at 4:46 and 5:36. Since then, this game has settled down to a bit of a war of attrition, as it is shot in around back of the Toronto goal. Knocked off a stick as it comes out in front of the net, but it is Minton there, getting it up on the right wing side for Alex Nylander. He'll play it into the offensive zone. There's no question Willie and Alex look very much alike, but they are completely different players. There's no question that Willie Nylander is a much better skater and quicker. And Alex is more of a power forward, I guess you would kind of buttonhole him as. Into the center ice area for Minton. Leafs regrouping the puck to the near side for McCabe. McCabe bunks it around the boards for Tanev. He pushes it up the wall, and Minton gets it the rest of the way into the center ice area. Robertson hustling into the forecheck, but doesn't get there. And now a lead pass by the Panthers, looking for Tkachuk at the blue line. Didn't connect. Now it comes back to the slot for Ekblad, and a shot. That was blocked by Stolarz. And the puck along the board, centering pass in front of the net. Tkachuk after it again. Couldn't get a second whack at it as it was blocked before it reached the Leaf goal. Kept in by Ekblad. D to D, and a wrist shot is blocked. Grabbed off into the corner then by Pontus Holmberg. He couldn't get around Sam Bennett's checking. The Leafs finally get it freed up, but they don't get it out. And Bennett with a shot. And that was stopped, and Stolarz is down. And getting up slowly, and slowly enough that play is stopped. I'm not so sure that he didn't take this in the nether regions.
Florida's got a minor for goaltender interference.
Oh, wow. Okay, never mind.
Well, that would still be classified as being interfered with, right?
Yes.
Yeah. This was,
okay. It was after the fact that he got kind of elbowed.
The flyby. Yeah. And he does this deliberately, too. This is a right elbow. And as soon as he delivers it, he glances towards the referee.
Hoping that he didn't see it?
Yeah. So hopefully, from a Leaf standpoint, they can take advantage of And not very brilliant penalty from Matthew. That's a not very brilliant way to say it either.
No. Shot down into the Toronto zone. Riley starts out with it. He drops the puck back. Carried into neutral ice by Marner. Into the line and in on the left wing side. Tried to feed it over for Morgan Riley. It does come free and a shot in front. Oh, what a chance Tavares had. And it went right by his stick. He had the empty net. Holmquist brings it back into the Florida zone. Then a turnover forcing Nylander after the puck. Ekblad chases him, but Nylander came away with it. Nylander tackled back of the goal. Puck around the boards and down the ice it goes. Stolarz will leave it there for Oliver Ekman-Larsson.
He's really having trouble gaining the zone and getting any kind of possession time here in the power play.
Here's Marner for Nylander. He works in on the left wing, backhands it around the boards. No one there, and down the ice it is sent again. 48 seconds left in the power play. Oliver Ekman-Larsson getting it up on the right side. A pass goes off a skate back into the Toronto zone. Hustling in after it is Greer. A.J. Greer taken to the boards by the Maple Leafs. And now they're going to be able to break it out with one-man trap behind them. Pass on the left wing. Minton gives it back to Timmins. Timmins across the line. A pass into the slot. And it bounced over Robertson's stick. And the Panthers are going to clear and get it down the ice. And a high stick has made contact with the puck. And so it'll be stopped with a face-off coming in the Toronto zone. Just 20 seconds left in yet another rather anemic power play for Toronto.
And John Tavares' rebound would have been right there. What, another 4 inches?
Yep.
And it's right onto his tape. Sergei Bobrovsky, I mean, they haven't beat him halfway through this game. I don't know if you can say that he's made a difficult stop to this point. 14-13, the Leafs out shooting the Panthers, but Anthony Stolarz has had the more high-danger opportunities.
Here's Riley in on the left wing for Robertson. High throw into the right wing corner. Forsling able to get it to his defense partner. And down the ice it goes, and that's it for the power play. Morgan Riley getting it ahead. Here's a chance for Robertson in, and a puck bounced on him just as he was trying to make a move to get around the last defender. Panthers in the center ice area, dropping it off for Ekblad. Ekblad tried to stick handle through, and it was knocked in around back of the net. Leafs Tanev playing it up on the wing for Lorenz. Lorenz with a pass ahead. The Leafs have numbers in across the line, and a shot stopped by Bobrovsky. Oh, as Dewar got it to the net, Bobrovsky was kind of in mid-motion, if you can imagine, and it just did get underneath him, and he was able to hang on to it.
I think that might have gone under his blocking arm. Right side, and then he just squeezes down on it, and I think he didn't have the faith that he had it. Fell back and then tried to do the snow angel and make sure that he had it covered up.
You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan on the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Give back this holiday season and join the fight against hunger with SiriusXM and Why Hunger's annual donation drive. Bid on items signed by Dave Matthews Band, LL Cool J, Pearl Jam, and many more. Meet country superstar Carrie Underwood at her Reflection residency at Resorts World Las Vegas. Or simply donate. Go to SiriusXM.com/Hungerthon now.
Hey, hockey fans. Thanks for hanging out with us tonight. You know the drill. You see the location pin. It's time. Let us know where you're watching from in the chat. Are you watching right downtown Toronto cheering on our buds from their hometown? Or are you out somewhere else in Canada, outside Canada, in the US, Mexico, around the world, Europe, Taiwan, China, anywhere in Asia? It is crazy. Thank you all for hanging out with us. Please let us know where you're watching from in the chat. It's so much fun seeing where we're all gathering from, cheering on our Leafs as they take on the Panthers tonight. Now let's have some fun in the chat. Let's keep it classy, and let's cheer on our Maple Leafs. Let's get lots of goals tonight, boys. Go Leafs, go! We'll see you back in there.
And how much we take them for granted.
Sirius XM, NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and on your schedule with the Sirius XM app. Hockey lives here.
Suzuki sweeps it. There's a chance. Rebound, Caulfield shoots and scores.
NHL play-by-play on Sirius XM.
Network.
9:19 left to play in the second period. Still 2-0 Florida. Holmberg taking the face-off with Reinhardt in the Florida zone. The draw scrummed. Panthers try to play it up on the wing and get it out at center ice. And now Benoit steps back up at the red line and wires it around the boards to the far side. Quickly cut off there by Florida. And a whistle here to stop play for some reason.
It's a linesman that blew it down. I don't think there's any kind of penalty being called here. And we're going to have to wait and see where the face-off is going to be.
Got me? I have no idea. Got a nice tight shot here of Sergei Bobrovsky's new helmet. His mask very much involved in cancer and whatnot. And laid down into the Toronto zone now by Barkov. Barkov works it along the boards. Taken out of the play. Tavares breaks up the cycle and gets it into the corner. Now looking to play it out. Got it to the line and out at center, but out of the reach of Bobby McMahon. And now the Panthers will regroup. Barkov comes right back into the right wing side and shoots it in. Down on the boards, Tavares. Can't get it by Reinhardt, who gets it back to the point. Long shot off a leg, well wide of the Toronto goal. Marner getting it around back of the net. McCabe back for Marner. Marner pushes it up on the right side for Tanev. Tanev will launch it in. The Leafs are in the midst of a change. Tavares up forechecking, but it is played up on the right side. And out come the Panthers as Bennett sends it down into the Toronto end. Bennett able to trap a shoot around to the far side. Played it back into the slot area. Cut off there by the Leafs. Punched ahead, and now here's Grabenkin. Up on the left wing for Benoit into the rush. And the shot by Benoit goes off Kulikov and ends up in the screen and out of play. So a face-off coming. Grabenkin had 7 hits in the 2 games that he's played. He has certainly been noticeable to that extent, although his penalty that he took in the first period ended up costing the Leafs a goal on the power play for the Florida Panthers.
Right now for Grabenkin, just 5 minutes and 2 seconds of ice time in this game, but he is one of those players that you notice him when he's out there.
Faceoff wasn't done fairly. They'll try it again. 7:55 left to play in the second period. Still 2-0 Florida.
It's been almost 3 years since the Leafs had been shut out before the Ottawa Senators blanked them 3-0.
A loose puck then off a face-off win was stopped by Bobrovsky as the Leafs got it back to the point.
Almost worked.
Almost worked, you're right. Played ahead, and now here's a break for the Panthers. In on goal, there's going to be a penalty, and it's going to be covered up here by Stolarz. But a hooking call is coming to Timmins. So the Panthers, who are 1 for 1 in the power play, are going back to it here in the second period.
Toronto number 25 has got a minor for hooking.
Tells me if that was Wes McCauley, that might have been a penalty shot. And Simon Benoit had jumped up and got caught, and then Connor Timmins went and tried to bat the loose puck back into the zone.
It was a good hook.
Boquist was off to the races when he got past him.
So the Leafs penalty kill. Brought to you by your Ontario Honda dealer. Up your game. Lease the CRV from 2.99% up to 28 months. Visit HondaOntario.com.
Florida's 5 shorthanded goals for. They've also given up 5 shorthanded goals.
An ironic twist, isn't it? Face off. The puck down into the Toronto zone. Panthers sending it around the boards. Barkov trying to trap it for Tkachuk. Down low it goes. Centering pass comes back. Intercepted by the Leafs, and they fire it out and down the ice. And they'll get a change of players started here as the penalty has 1:21 to go in it. Tkachuk waiting for teammates to get onside. On the right wing side for Sam Bennett. Bennett gets it back to Barkov, sifting into the middle. Left-handed shot, had it blocked. And the Leafs are just going to play it off the boards and down into Florida territory and get another change going. Aaron Ekblad going back to retrieve the puck. Starts out, drops it off. Trailing here is Rodriguez as he carries to the line and into Tkachuk. Tkachuk feeds it back into the slot. Grabbing it there is Belinskis. Belinskis dropping it back, still has it. Now off onto the left wing side, looking for a man in front. It comes back to the point once more. Tkachuk looking for a pass and gets one. He'll let a wrist shot go, and that's high. That deflected off a body and into the corner. Back to the point it comes to Tkachuk again with another shot. And that was deflected and went just wide of the Leaf goal. Good pressure here now by Florida as they get a couple of chances to the net. Comes back to the point once more. Now to Tkachuk once more. Top of the circle. Shooting off the stick of Benoit. It goes high in the air, and Tkachuk gets it again with a dozen seconds left. Off a stick to the near side. Leafs can't get there to get it out. Just kept in as the blue line. Shot by Tkachuk, blocked. Rebound comes back to the point. Verhaeghe to the left wing side. Penalty is over now. Round back of the net. Benoit gets into the way, but it is trapped on the near side. Belinskis gets it back to the point. Just kept in again. Played in around the boards. Tired group on the ice for Toronto. Off the boards, it'll come to the left point. Faking the shot there was Forsling. Dropped it off on the right wing side. Stepping in, Belinskis with a shot, and it is stopped by Stolarz. And Anthony Stolarz gets the left glove on it to stop play and give the Leafs a much-needed opportunity to make a line change. It is still 2-0 Florida. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590, The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Fall for Subaru by enjoying fall to the fullest. Think scarlet, burgundy, amber, crimson and copper, but never blue. Because with Subaru's symmetrical full-time all-wheel drive, fall is for thick, dark mud splats, terracotta mountain roads, radiant sunsets, kaleidoscopic...
Hey, Insiders! Thanks again for helping me create this amazing place to hang out together during every single Toronto sports game live. You guys remember the SickKids Create 100 campaign that is done for 2024. And we just finished up, you'll remember a few weeks ago, we put a post out that said the $26,087 is raised as a total for all of the Create 100K creators. Well, we actually had a little bit of an accounting adjustment at the end thanks to some of your donations, which took it to just over that number, $3,000 donated, and now a total of $6,500 as a community in just 7 months. Thank you for sharing the link out. Every single view, every time you share it out and somebody clicks it, it's making a difference with our community and our donation to SickKids Hospital. Now let's get back to the hockey. Go Leafs, go. Great work, Insiders. Let's keep it going and do even bigger things in 2025.
$1,000 down. Offer includes $1,500 lease bonus. OAC conditions apply. See HondaOntario.com.
You're listening to Toronto Maple Leafs hockey.
Holy mackerel, what a move!
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Leafs Radio Network.
Leafs are out shooting the Panthers 16-15, but they have been outscored 2-0. 5:15 left to play in the second period. Puck in the Toronto zone. Barkov getting it down along the boards. Reinhart sends it to the other side. Tanev got there to pry it free, but it is kept alive and then stolen by Riley, but he couldn't get it out. But Nylander has it now in his own zone, and he'll bank the puck out at center, just out of the reach of Marner as it goes down into Florida territory. Panthers get it freed up. Reinhart to the line and in on the right side. Long shot, easily steered aside off the stick of Ekblad. Played into the corner and around to the near side. Leafs slow to react, and it is played around back of the net for Reinhart. Stolen back by McCabe. McCabe jams into his man, and Tavares couldn't help him as it's back to the point. Long shot into the glove of Stolarz, and he's going to hang on and stop play with 4:26 to go here in the period.
Stolarz has settled down nicely as well, hasn't he? Giving up just the 2 goals so far in this game, although his first 2 losses as a Leaf He gave up 3 goals in the 2 games. The opener, 1-0 loss to the Montreal Canadiens, and then a 4-1 loss to the Rangers. But 2 of the 4 goals by the Rangers were empty netters.
Well, their save percentage, rather lofty. .927 for Stolarz and .922 for Joseph Woll.
Overall,
you should win.
Yes,
you should win your share of games. Your goaltending is that good. And the puck goes out of play here with a faceoff coming in the Toronto zone.
But early on, Stolar's goals against average and losses was better than wins and wins. And right now, just the 2 against. Stolarz comes into the game with a 2.18 goals against average, so below average, but Leafs haven't been able to find a way to generate much in the way of great scoring chances at the other end of the ice.
Florida wins the faceoff, and a sharp angle centering effort by Tkachuk is handled by Stolarz. So another faceoff coming in the Toronto zone.
Craig Berube was saying before the game, he said that we know what this is going to be. It's going to be a tough game because he have a lot of admiration for Paul Maurice, and not only that, the Florida Panthers won a cup, but how they did it.
McMahon couldn't come up with the puck as it comes to center. Now brought on by Florida in across the line. Here's Schmidt trying to hold it off. Sends it down around back of the net. Reverse now for Tkachuk. Tkachuk gets away from the checking of Minton. The puck comes off on the wing, and a shot. That Rang may have hit the goalpost on the far side as it comes around to the near side. Centering effort off a stick. Tipped to center ice then by Grabenkin. Racing after it, Steves, but he's not going to get there ahead of Schmidt. Nate Schmidt takes it all the way back into his own zone and plays it off a skate and down the ice, and icing will be called. And so the Leafs with 3:31 to go get a face-off in the offensive zone.
Does have a playoff feel to it, doesn't it? Not so much the intensity, but just how everything is so difficult to get any kind of room and space. Matthew Tkachuk could do it. Goaltender interference penalty a little earlier was right in front of Stolarz when the shot rang off the post.
Draw won by Florida. Backhanded high, out and down the ice. This is rolling wide, but it is not going to be icing. And back to retrieve it is Morgan Rielly. Rielly with a pass up the middle. Got it ahead for Tavares. Tavares across the line. Tavares into the slot. Got a shot away. Blocked on the seat of his pants. He gets a shot away. And it is gloved by Bobrovsky, but a penalty is coming here.
Well, it's going to be a holding call. So John Tavares again, much like Nick Robertson's opportunity where he was holding, and it looked like he lost his opportunity to get the puck to the net. I think he was looking up at Oliver Ekman-Larsson, who is jumping in on the right wing side. But I believe it's Evan Rodriguez who's going to get the holding penalty. He was in pursuit of Tavares and eventually took him down.
Now, I want someone to tell me, how often do you practice shooting the puck while sitting on the seat of your pants in the slot?
It's an acquired skill.
Yes, it does. And Tavares made a great play on it, but now he's given the puck away. And a 2-on-1 break going the wrong way. Barkov dropping it off in the slot. They score! Shorthanded. Number 6 on the season. And a 3-0 Florida lead.
This power play starts like the last, where the Leafs just cannot handle the puck in the Florida zone. And Sam Reinhart has his 4th shorthanded goal of the season and 17th overall. Everyone was in the perfect position except nobody was back to pick up Reinhart. I mean, this started as a 2-on-1. And the Leafs were able to get numbers back, but Reinhart was the trailer. And the puck was thrown back into the high slot for him. He walks in and wires a blocker side on Stolarz. And the 3-0 lead feels like about 9-0 against Florida.
17th goal of the season for Reinhart. Amazing. He's got 4 shorthanded goals. The team has now got 6. As a shot by Robertson rang wide of the net. Cleared in into the corner now for Holmberg back to the net for Minton. Didn't reach him. Cleared to the line. Not out. Leafs were able to keep it in. Bouncing disc. And a glove pass has been whistled down. And a face-off will come outside the blue line.
Big Berube is going to send Tavares right back out.
Wow. That was amazing. Barkov is going to get the lone assist on the goal.
Time of the goal, 17:04 of the second period. Reinhardt is
and you heard the time, 17:04.
Blessing of having your skilled guys kill penalties, eh?
Yep. Hey, that's one of the ideas of having Austin Matthews out there and Marner. So here, Riley at the point, goes D to D with it, gets it back again right at the blue line, doesn't shoot it. Off to the far side again, kept in by Marner to Tavares. Tavares along the boards, played by Grabenkin, back of the net. Nylander trying to center, bouncing puck in front. And where's it gone?
Bobrovsky might have it.
If he does, wasn't demonstrating that he had it.
Tavares was able to take a whack at it, but he was in fairly tight.
36 seconds left to go in the power play. Nylander trying to center. It went off Tavares.
Ooh.
Oh, no, it went off the crossbar and up into the screen, I guess.
Bobrovsky was hunched over. I thought maybe he got a piece of it.
Leafs get it back, and a shot from the blue line is off a body, and it trickles into the slot area. Now Tavares getting into it with Nico Mikkola. A face-off coming in the Florida zone.
Interesting change, throwing Grabenkin out here on the power play. I think trying to maybe take the place of Matthew Nyes, go to the front of the net, provide the screen.
Nyes has certainly filled that role rather admirably, and hopefully he will be back. Now Tavares is hunched over, getting his stick back in his hands after getting slashed, then got a shot away, and it was stopped and smothered, and Tavares is hunched over a little bit after taking a bit of a high stick in the scrum for the face-off. And
I think
Berube is trying to influence the officials into. Oh boy!
This is right off the face-off. Nosek comes up.
Yep.
Yeah.
And Tavares ended up getting another opportunity, but it didn't have much on it. Now a centering pass in front of the net. They score! Marner! He diligently waited and waited to get Bobrovsky down and out. And so the teams exchange goals on this power play, and we're back to a 2-goal lead for Florida.
1:29 to go here in the second period. Mitch Marner ends up with the puck on his stick just to the left of Bobrovsky. And I think Grabenkin's going to get his first point, Joe. I think after Tavares wins the draw back, Grabenkin kicks it towards the net. It goes through the legs of Forsling and on the stick of Mitch Marner, who took off to the front of the goal. And then Marner plays a little keep away with Bobrovsky, who starts to dive out to try to get it off his stick. And Marner simply stick handles his way back and then flips it up over the prone Florida goaltender. And if there's any chance of a comeback, that goal was
absolutely
necessary from a Leaf standpoint.
Yes, absolutely.
But I think Grabenkin kicks this.
All right,
and
we'll wait and see.
The perfect kick. And
for Mitch Marner, it is his 9th goal of the season.
Fourth on the power play.
Leafs back in their own zone. Steves knocks it down into Florida territory. Stewart into the forecheck, gets a hit in, but now it's brought out by Sam Bennett. Bennett to the blue line, couldn't get it in over the line. Leafs are able to chip it back into Florida territory. Bennett goes back again. Pass intercepted by the Leafs in the center ice area. Tanev got it ahead. Fanning on the shoot-in then was Alex Steves. He gets knocked down on the play. Puck along the boards has bounced into the Florida bench. With 49.5 seconds remaining in the period. And the 2-0 lead built in the first period is standing the test of time here, although the Leafs are at least on the board. But the shorthanded goal is an enormous one.
Yeah, that's the killer. You got an opportunity to get right back in it. Now you're down 3. Just 1 5-on-5 goal out of the 4 that have scored between the two clubs.
Long shooting goes around the boards to the near side, and you're right, Grebenkin is getting the assist along with Tavares. So his first NHL point. Round back of the net, wraparound attempt doesn't come. Holmberg trying to mirror Samoskevich as it comes around to the near side. Panthers are able to dig it free. Mikkola getting it along the boards. Now back into the corner, trying to get to it with 21 seconds. A centering pass knocked away. Leafs with it again, and it is Pontus Holmberg getting it to the slot area for the Leafs, who now launch it high and out and down the ice to relieve the pressure.
Nick Robertson without a stick. And at the very least is going to be able to get some lumber and take the face-off back in the Leaf zone with less than 10 seconds on the clock. I mean, we've talked about this before. I mean, the amount of time...
You're useless out there without it. You're absolutely useless out there without it.
You might as well give them a 7 or 8 second power play and go to the bench. I know it's a long change here in the second period.
Draw one by Florida. They play it into the corner. Tipped along the boards for Timmins. He dives the boards, and there's the horn that ends the period. So the Leafs do get a goal, but the shorthanded goal is a huge one for Florida as they take a 3-1 lead to the dressing room after 2 periods of play.
Well, the Leafs were able to come back from the Washington Capitals, but boy, they've had a tough time generating quality scoring chances on Sergei Bobrovsky. Even though they outshot Ford in the second period, they're going to have to be even better in the third.
They outshoot them 12-9, but the shorthanded goal by Reinhart is an enormous tally for the Florida Panthers. It is a 3-1 Florida lead. We'll step aside and welcome in Eilish Forfar and Justin Cuthbert. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590, The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
This week on Let's Go with Bill Belichick, Max Crosby, Peter King, and me, Jim Gray. The great Snoop Dogg, Bill Belichick, Tom Brady.
That opportunity to meet Al Davis went a long way because he was my friend till he left this earth. And that was the beautiful thing is that in having that relationship. And I still love the Raiders to this day, especially Tom got his hands on them now. So I know there's something brewing with that, Jim.
Listen to the extended version of Let's Go, now available exclusively on the all-new SiriusXM app.
NHL Morning Skate.
Logan Thompson with the Washington Capitals.
So talk about a team that kind of found their oats again.
Yeah, we've run a lot of young guys who, have a lot of talent, and we're just looking for fresh starts. And credit this dressing room and the leadership that was in this dressing room. They brought us in, and we just gelled so natural. And guys are playing up to their caliber and proving everyone wrong, and it's really fun to see. And
NHL Morning Skate
with Scott Laughlin and Gord Stolarz.
Weekdays 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91, and the SiriusXM app. The biggest plays.
Wait, what a save!
Hits.
Oh, a hard hit.
Goals.
McDavid scores!
Tune to NHL Network Radio for the most in-depth hockey talk on the planet.
He is the GM of the Minnesota Wild.
Insiders.
The revenues and the big business.
And the best analysis on the air.
Alex Ovechkin!
The NHL on SiriusXM. Hear every team and your hometown call. NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91. And on demand with the SiriusXM app.
Score!
24/7 hockey talk.
To understand that you are allowed to legally still check the head, not just the head. The head by itself is a penalty. If you wanted to change it, that would be like in the IIHF. That's probably a penalty at the Olympics. That's probably at the World Juniors. That guy's gone and suspended. I ask you, do you want that?
SiriusXM, NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91, and on your schedule with the SiriusXM app. Hockey 24/7 on SiriusXM NHL Network Radio.
The only 2 players in the history of the National Hockey League to have 600 goals, 1,600 points, 3 Stanley Cups, and 2 Conn Smythes. Wayne and Sid. Just it absolutely blows your mind how good Sidney Crosby is and how much we take him for granted.
SiriusXM NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91, and on your schedule with the SiriusXM app. The best player analysts and insiders live on NHL Network Radio. Brian Burke.
I didn't like Nashville. I don't like the composition. I told you they had too many violins and not enough cellos. So to me, the anticipation was out of line, misplaced. So how do you fix it? I think you got to get back to the very basics. Change the way you play, change your style of play. It's the only thing you can do. You can't change the personnel much.
Get the latest opinion and analysis you need on the home of hockey, NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91, and the SiriusXM app.
The National Women's Soccer League Championship game is coming to SiriusXM.
Hey, it's World Cup winner Heather O'Reilly of SiriusXM FC. Join Jessica Charman and me for the first national radio broadcast of the NWSL Final.
That's right, Heather. We'll be taking you through every thrilling moment live from Kansas City.
Join us as we make history at the 2024 NWSL Final on Saturday, November 23rd at 8 Eastern.
And it's on SiriusXM FC channel 157 and streaming on the SiriusXM app.
The biggest names in the game.
Trying to get behind, wrist the line, and walks in, put it between his legs, shoots and scores!
NHL play-by-play on SiriusXM.
The Leafs Radio Network.
Stolarz ended up getting another opportunity, but it didn't have much on it. Now a centering pass in front of the net. They score! Marner! He diligently waited to get Bobrovsky down and out. And so the teams exchange goals on this power play. And we're back to a 2-goal lead for Florida.
Welcome back to Molson Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network. A 3-1 lead for the Florida Panthers after 40 minutes in Sunrise. That was a really nice moment by Mitch Marner. A beautiful goal by him. But unfortunately, the 2-goal deficit is kind of at their own fault as well with that PK, or I guess, shorthanded goal that the Panthers scored against them just a little bit before that. But a really gorgeous goal by Marner.
Yeah, and the lead up to both those two special teams moments, there was not much going on. Like the Maple Leafs kind of suffocating in this game, not really able to get anything meaningful. It felt like a 2-0 lead being protected really, really well. And then it opened up a little bit with those shorthanded opportunities, Reinhart making it 3-0, and then on that same power play, Marner scoring that goal there. A little fortuitous that he got it in the position that he was in, but
definitely.
You can definitely see the confidence in Mitch Marner's game. He took, a couple extra beats before making sure he had a full net to shoot at with a very, very desperate Sergei Bobrovsky swimming around in net. And kind of see the difference right now. Well, there's a big difference, obviously, between Mitch Marner and Nick Robertson. But the two guys who have been the best position to score in this game, I think, have been Mitch Marner and Nick Robertson. And Mitch Marner takes the second and third beat and puts it into an empty net to continue his hot run, while Nick Robertson on a 2-on-1 just kind of put it on his own backhand and made his angle as small as it could possibly be before flipping it into the goaltender. It's, two different players entirely, but a case of one guy who's playing with a lot of confidence at the moment and one guy just desperate for something good to happen to him. But, not much as good has come for the Leafs in this game. That Marner goal is really the only exception in what's been a pretty thoroughly dominating game so far, I think, for Florida.
Yeah, the Mitch Marner confidence is like oozing out of him when he has the puck there, because you mentioned there's nobody on him and he could have just done, the quick move and the quick backhand, but he really waited it out, and the confidence is earned. He's got 7 goals in his last 8 games. He's been playing. I don't think tonight's like the best representation of how he's been playing. I know he scored a really nice goal, but before that,
they've been really struggling 5-on-5 that line up against Alexander Barkov. They've got nothing going 5-on-5 until that power play, which is clearly not 5-on-5. But it's been a rough go so far.
Yeah, but up until this point, the games without Austin Matthews, he had a 2-point game in every single one of the games except for one. So he was on a really hot streak. He's obviously kind of going at a career pace, but tonight against a really good team that can shut you down and suffocate you and play really good Florida Panthers hockey hasn't been as noticeable out there. John Tavares has been noticeable, but maybe in good ways and not good ways. He fell down on his butt and still got a shot off. That was pretty fun.
Yeah, drew the penalty before getting knocked down and getting the shot, and then you got to give credit to him because he took a high stick, a pretty brutal one. Not brutal in the terms that there was malice there, but clearly that would have hurt, and he was shook up by it. And you could have went straight to the bench after the whistle, and because he did have an opportunity himself after that when he was hurting, Could have went off the ice, but he stayed in, won a draw. Nikita Grabenkin, who got slotted into the power play ahead of Nylander, despite Nylander starting in the number one power play, that being Alex, makes the play to Marner. So one moment where, you stay in there, you got it out, and then one coaching decision leading to that Marner goal. So those are, kind of the best things we can say about that. But you're right, Tavares been involved. It hasn't been the same, and clearly with a difficult matchup head-to-head against Barkov, it's belonged to the Florida Panthers captain.
Sam Reinhart scores his fourth shorthanded goal of the season and league leading that, and his league leading 17th goal of the season, and it was a beauty. Really nice setup, and walks right down the middle and roofs it on Stolarz. Yeah, he's a good player, and when him and Barkov are out there together, it's pretty hard to stop, and that was on PK as well.
Yeah, something tells me he'll be killing penalties for Canada at the Four Nations face-off. I think they want their his goal scoring. I think they might want his danger in the penalty killing scenario as well. But you're right, a beautiful play for Barkov just to kind of clear a path for him himself, just draws all the defenders towards him as he kind of cuts towards the middle. But before they could lay a finger on him, it's slid right to Reinhart, who has a path towards goal, cleanly beats Stolarz to make it 3-0, and then the Marner goal got them even for the period.
All right, we'll take a quick break. We'll take a look at the busy scoreboard on the other side. 15 games in action or later to come tonight. We'll get you set for the third period. It's a 3-1 lead for the Florida Panthers after 40 minutes. You're listening to Molson Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan, the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
The scrape of blades, the clash of sticks. Hockey's more than a game. It's unrelenting, never-give-up moments that make you feel alive. And so you commit to the weekly ups and downs, the long road to the playoffs. You wear your heart on your sleeve and your jersey with pride. And when you're there for your team, the NHL Shop is there for you. Check out the largest selection of official NHL gear at nhlshop.ca. A Fanatics experience.
As fall approaches and birds head south, a different kind of bird emerges, the Subaru. While migratory flocks seek warmth, Subaru's symmetrical full-time all-wheel drive keeps drivers soaring through the wild. During the migrating season, Subaru's hunger for adventure grows exponentially, driving the intrigued radio listeners to fall for Subaru at their local Subaru dealerships, experiencing an adventure of their own. So migrate to your local Subaru dealership to book a test drive today.
Heard of Uline? You know, the have-it-all in-stock, ready-to-deliver shipping and industrial supply specialists. The company that does things for you that are unheard of, like keeping 41,000 items in stock in our own warehouses. With customer service reps on the line to get you what you need, when you need it, 24/7, 365, every time. Maybe you heard it here first. Want to hear more? Visit uline.ca. ULINE, your shipping and industrial supply specialists.
Desjardins Insurance cares a lot about their clients. In fact, it's packed with such a ginormous amount of vast and substantial care that's bursting with even more whoppingly humongous and colossal care. You might be a little surprised when we tell you that all of that care fits in the palm of your hand. With the Desjardins Insurance mobile app, you'll get a big hand with 24/7 paper-free access to all of your home and auto policies, including your digital pink slip. Get insurance that's really big on care at Desjardins.com/care.
Getting my Honda CR-V has opened the door to adventure. With Econ Mode to maximize fuel efficiency, I'm free to explore. And with tons of cargo space, it's easy to pack for getaways. My dog, camping gear. It's like I've discovered a wild, adventurous side of me. Alice is excited too.
Lease the CR-V LX two-wheel drive for $99 weekly at 2.99% APR for 28 months with $2,000 down. Offer includes $1,500 lease bonus. OAC conditions apply. See HondaOntario.com.
From the biggest stadiums to the coziest holes in the wall. From house parties to porch hangs to pride celebrations. From your favorite fuss shop to your local Indian spot. From noodle bars to sports bars to salsa bars. There's a Molson with your name on it. Canadian Ultra XL. Molson. Everyone in. Must be legal drinking age.
You're listening to Toronto Maple Leafs hockey.
You know that's game on.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Leafs Radio Network.
Welcome back to Molson Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590. The Fan of the Maple Leafs Radio Network, a 3-1 lead for the Panthers going into the third and final period of this game. Let's take a quick look at the NHL scoreboard presented by Bet365. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary. At Bet365 must be 18 plus, Ontario only. Play responsibly. Visit connexontario.ca.
It's a busy one. Pretty much every team in action with Thanksgiving tomorrow. There are no NHL games, so everyone's trying to work them in. So let's go through them. Hurricanes up 4-3 on the Rangers nearing the end of the game. 1-0 Wild still lead the Sabres, also reaching its conclusion. The Blues have a 3-0 lead over the Devils still. Lightning have a 3-2 lead over the Capitals. That is end of second. Also end of second, 2-2 Canadiens and Blue Jackets, while the Red Wings still clinging to a 1-goal lead, 1-0 over the Flames. It's 5-3. The Penguins lead the Canucks. The third period just underway there. 3-3 Bruins and Islanders. Predators up 2-1 late second over the Flyers. 2-0 Blackhawks over the Stars, end of one. And 4 games, that still to come tonight. Kings and Jets, Ducks and Kraken, Golden Knights and Avalanche, Senators and Sharks.
All right, Justin, in 60 seconds, what do the Maple Leafs need to do to get back in this one?
It's going to be tough. It's going to be tough because Florida knows how to protect leads. That's one of the hallmarks of a team that's going to win a Stanley Cup. Pressure, forecheck, try to get back on the power play because the power play did work despite a change to it during the game from Craig Berube going to Grebenkin. But it's a really good 5-on-5 team. So if you can create the scenarios that have created opportunity for the Maple Leafs over the last few games without Austin Matthews, I think they only have a 1-goal advantage at 5-on-5 and a major advantage everywhere else. Create those odd man advantages, try to get on the power play, maybe some 4-on-4. Those conditions may benefit the Maple Leafs in the third. Yeah,
they've got 21 shots on Sergei Bobrovsky so far. One went by him. I think you got to get a couple more on this third period, get a little gritty in front of him, a little traffic. Maybe one finds its way in, but we will see. Joe Bone and Jim Ralph have the call the third period. Next, it's 3-1 for the Florida Panthers. You're listening to Molson Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590, The Fan, and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Here's what's happening on Sirius XM Sports.
NFL regular season is heading into its stretch run. Sirius XM NFL Radio with a preview of the 3 Thanksgiving games, the Black Friday matchup, and the Week 13 Sunday games with top guests and expert analysis. NFL Radio, Sirius XM Channel 88, and the all-new Sirius XM app.
Sirius XM Sports, wherever you are, your team plays here.
The biggest plays.
What a save!
Hits.
Hard hit.
Goals.
McDavid scores!
Tune to NHL Network Radio for the most in-depth hockey talk on the planet.
He is the GM of the Minnesota Wild.
Insiders.
The revenues and the big business.
And the best analysis on the air.
Alex Ovechkin!
The NHL on Sirius XM. Hear every team and your hometown call. NHL Network Radio. Sirius XM 91. And on demand with the Sirius XM app.
Score!
The National Women's Soccer League Championship game is coming to SiriusXM.
Hey, it's World Cup winner Heather O'Reilly of SiriusXM FC. Join Jessica Charman and me for the first national radio broadcast of the NWSL Final.
That's right, Heather. We'll be taking you through every thrilling moment live from Kansas City.
Join us as we make history at the 2024 NWSL Final on Saturday, November 23rd at 8 Eastern.
And it's on SiriusXM FC channel 157 and streaming on the SiriusXM app.
Join me, Gord Stellick, and Scott Laughlin as we recap the night that was on NHL Morning Skate, weekday mornings at 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91.
The biggest names in the game.
Trying to get behind, wrist the line, and walks in, put it between his legs, shoots and scores!
NHL play-by-play on Sirius XM. The best hockey lives here.
Burns gets it back, stick handles to the backhand, moves in front, score!
NHL play-by-play on Sirius XM. Hockey lives here.
Suzuki sweeps it. There's a chance. Rebound, Caulfield shoots and scores.
NHL play-by-play on Sirius XM.
Radio Network.
3-1 Florida. After 2 periods of play, the second period was brought to you by Desjardins Insurance. Get insurance that is really big on care. And the Maple Leafs get a goal back, but a huge shorthanded tally by Sam Reinhart, who is having an amazing season. Again, when you consider that that is his 4th shorthanded goal of the year. Florida has 6. It's the first shorthanded goal the Leafs power play has surrendered. So that's sort of the unfortunate part about it.
Well, he's also got 5 power play goals. Willie Nylander leads the Leafs with 5 power play goals. So for Reinhart to have 4 shorthanded goals is a bit of a head scratcher, and he's on pace now for over 60. He did hit the 57 goal mark last year. So with Florida, 57 last year, 31 the year before, 33 his first year as a member of the Panthers.
Face-off, drop, and we're underway. Leafs to the left. And a hit there on the defenseman as it is played down into the Toronto zone. Centering pass was blocked. Cleared by Nosek back to the point. It comes around back of the net. Cut off by Morgan Riley. Riley gets it ahead, and it'll be just tipped out into the center ice area. Panthers back after it. Play it right back into neutral ice. Backhanded right back down in on goal. Stolarz played it into the corner. Race for the puck with Lorenz coming away with it. And he's going to get it bounced down into Florida territory, forcing Ekblad back behind his own goal. Steves was up forechecking. And now the Panthers start out of their own end. To the line with a long shot, swallowed up by Stolarz. Top of the crease, and that'll bring a face-off back in the Toronto zone to the left of the Toronto net.
Florida Panthers are a perfect 9-0 when leading after 2 periods. And from a Leaf standpoint, boy, looking at that again, I don't know if Grebinkin, we just saw the replay of the Mitch Marner goal. Grebinkin may not have touched that.
Well, they haven't put up officially who's getting the assists on it. Well, we'll wait and see. Tavares should get one.
Oh, Tavares, yeah, for sure.
Bounce down into the Toronto end. Marner against the boards in traffic, got knocked down. And now gets back on his skates, makes a little pass to get it up on the wing. Unable to help him out was Grebinkin, but now the Leafs will get a chance to move it up ice. And Tavares comes to center. He'll shoot it in, and Grebinkin goes into the corner after it. Had it knocked away from him. Barkov turns back on the boards and just gets it out at center. Rodriguez will play it down into the Toronto end, forcing Connor Timmins back to recover the puck. Timmins gets it ahead, and the pass comes ahead to Benoit, who dishes off now, and here's Nylander. In over the line, Willie with a shot that goes off his stick and goes up into the screen. And that will stop play with a face-off coming in the Florida zone.
And the shorthanded goal by Reinhart's his 4th of the season. It's his 5th shorthanded point. And Barkov, who assisted on the Reinhart goal, that's his 4th point shorthanded, one of those being a shorthanded goal.
Paul Maurice looking very resplendent in a 3-piece suit. Shot goes down into the corner off a leg. Leafs after it with Pontus Holmberg trying to play it back along the boards. Nylander got his pass, then dished it off for Benoit, who had barged down the wall but couldn't come up with it. Benoit has to evacuate, and Schmidt now will launch it high, but it's knocked down, and Nylander keeps it in. Willie working off the boards on the far side. Got it back to the point to Timmins. Timmins sends a shot towards the net. That deflected wide, and the Panthers get it up on the wing, and now Bennett will get it out at center ice. Timmins off on the near boards. Robertson with a long shoot in, handled easily by Bobrovsky. And both teams are trying to get a change in here as back of the net stands Valenskis, who will now take his time, bringing it out with a pass that got ahead at center. Boqvist across the line, sends it in deep into the Toronto zone. Oliver Ekman-Larsson got it up on the wing. Cut off there, and Minton with a pass up on the boards and chipped to center ice out of the reach of Alex Nylander. Puck comes back at center. Ekman-Larsson shooting it in. Around the boards to the far side. Panthers come up with it. Got it off the wing. Played out and down the ice. Icing indicated by the linesman. And Riley is there to make sure it happens. And so back into Florida territory it comes, where the Leafs need a face-off win and something to the net.
The Leafs have won 58% of the face-offs, but Thanks mostly to John Tavares, who is 14 of 20. 70% the face-off dot. Here he goes again.
Grabenkin out there with Marner and Tavares. The draw won by Tavares cleanly. Back to the point it comes to Marner. Marner with a wrist shot. That deflected wide. Ooh, and a hit there by McCabe, who came down the left wing boards and pasted one of the Panthers in back of the goal. Up on the right side, Marner works down in and with a drop pass now for Grabenkin. A shot, there's a rebound. And Tavares couldn't pull it back to get a backhand away. Out at center ice for Barkov. Barkov across the line, sends it down around back of the net. Canada with his head up to find Jake McCabe, and McCabe sends a bank pass ahead for Marner, off his stick and into the offensive zone. Played around back of the net then by Forsling. He'll get it out. Barkov got it ahead, and it's backhanded by Reinhart down into Toronto territory. A bit of miscommunication there from the goaltender as Stolarz played it away from his defenseman and now kept in by Florida. Cut off by Oliver Ekman-Larsson, got it ahead, and unable to get it out the first time was Pontus Holmberg. Ekman-Larsson will try it himself. He carries to center, got it ahead across the line for Robertson, and his wrist shot went wide. Rebound into the corner for Pontus Holmberg. Centers! Chance for Nylander is thwarted there by Bobrovsky. Best scoring chance the Leafs have engineered in a while. Sent around the boards by Riley back in the Toronto zone. Holmberg turns, starts out of his own end. Got it ahead at center off a stick and down into Florida territory. Hustling after it is Mikkola. He'll get it up on the right wing boards, muscles it out at center, and the Panthers will bring it in across the line. A wrist shot deflects wide of the Leaf goal and comes all the way around to center ice. Tipping it ahead there was Steves. He missed a check that was attempted by Bennett. And turning back with it now is Sam Bennett in his own zone. Panthers regrouping the puck and got it ahead. Bennett couldn't penetrate into the Leaf end. It's tipped into the Toronto zone now. Hagee chases after it. Leafs are able to get it up on the wing, and now to Benoit, and Benoit plays it through center off a stick and down into the zone. Just getting to it before it got out of the non-trapezoidal area was the goaltender, but he lost his stick in shooting it. Now the Leafs with a chance to shoot it, but can't keep it in, and it bounces to center ice. That stick is a little ways away. Not sure whether Bobrovsky's been able to go and get it. No, he hasn't. As we get a look at it now as the puck goes back down into the Florida zone. Now the goaltender is getting the stick handed to him by one of his defensemen as Valinskis decided that he might need that. Panthers bring it back in on the left wing. Trying to drive there with Samoskevich, and now a backhand goes wide of the net. Far side, a shot blocked. Bouncing to the line and out. Racing after it. Now the Leafs in across the line. Minton trying to find a loose man in front, and it was Alex Nylander, but he never made contact with the puck. Now Alex gets it again. He's out there with Willie. Around back of the net for Minton. Minton leaves it for the defense, and it's played around back of the goal by Riley, but no one on this side to trap it as it comes to center.
Also heard that the Bobby McMahon lower body will not return tonight.
Oh, goody. Just another forward that's gone down. They expect to get Nyes and Matthews back on Saturday against Tampa. Puck in the center ice area. Tavares on the wing for Marner. Chipped along the boards out of the reach, and that's why Grabenkin has been up on this line playing with Tavares and Marner. At center and shot in. Around the boards, it'll come to the near side. Timmins is knocked down back of the net. Then he takes down the Florida player, and it likely will be the second situation that's going to create the penalty as Rodriguez is being looked at to see if he is...
And Timmins was hauled down, and when he fell, the stick came up. The rule being you have to be in control of your stick, and this might cost Connor Timmins and the Leafs at least
he got slew-footed and knocked down, and the stick comes up.
Rodriguez holds on to his stick, and by the time Timmins pulls it out, it ends up coming up and clipping Rodriguez. So great play by the Florida forward.
Panthers to the power play. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Denver Broncos organization is a team that has done a tremendous job.
When it happens in the NFL, we're reacting to it on Sirius XM NFL Radio.
Saquon Barkley, he is special. Howie Roseman, Jeffrey Lurie, the owner, they were sitting there just
Hey, Leafs fans, thanks for hanging out with us tonight. The Leafs go on the road to face the reigning champions, the Florida Panthers. But right now, the Leafs are on top of the standings in the Atlantic Division, 13-6-2. The Panthers at 12-9-1, just behind us. Like Johan said in the pregame chat there, this is the perfect step-up game, the perfect stay-ahead game. Love it. Make sure you guys hit that like button down below. Let's get the win tonight. Please hit that like and share this out on whatever social media you have, or share the link out on the hockey boards. Just the key is get this link shared out, and let's bring more Toronto sports fans to hang out with us here on TSI while we cheer on our Leafs to beat the Panthers tonight. Now let's get back at it. Go Leafs, go. Let's spam it up in the chat, and we'll see you guys back in there.
That's right, Heather. We'll be taking you through every thrilling moment live from Kansas City.
Join us as we make history at the 2024 NWSL Final on Saturday, November 23rd at 8 Eastern.
And it's on Sirius XM FC channel 157 and streaming on the Sirius XM app.
Ray Hudson here with an important announcement. You can listen to your favourite Sirius XM FC shows on the all-new Sirius XM app, now available for all subscribers.
And the Leafs Radio Network.
So kind of an unfortunate turn of events for the Maple Leafs as Connor Timmins gets slew-footed down, and as he's going down, his stick comes up and clips the slew-footer in the face. And Timmins at 7:01 gets the only penalty. Third power play.
Also had a hold of his stick as he was falling. By the way, they've changed the Marner goal to be unassisted.
All right, so it is unassisted. All righty. We'll adjust that. Thank you, Rob. Leafs get it down into the Florida zone. Bit of interference there by Bennett, but the Leafs turn the puck over. Chance in front of the net, and a chance there by Dewar was thwarted by the goaltender, and then a pretty good hit ensues there from Ekblad. Back into the offensive zone come the Panthers, but it's off a stick and gone into the crowd and out of play.
Yeah, after Dewar had that opportunity, he got filled in from behind.
One of the
Sergei Bobrovsky, pretty good job with the poke check too.
He's got a text from a real good friend that used to work at Telemedia with us, Francis Karam, who was down in Florida at the game and wondered where we were, but I had to inform her where we were. But it's she is such an integral part of the Telemedia crew that when I started doing these games and. Wanted to say hello, give her a little shout out.
90 here.
Yeah. Now a pass down into the corner as the Panthers control the puck on the power play. Bennett on the near half boards. Works it into the slot area. A pass off on the wing then by Reinhardt. Looking for Reinhardt in front with Barkov. It comes to the point and a shot. That was deflected just out in front of the Leaf goal and into the near corner. Benoit up against the boards. Out trying to pin it there. Has his skate on it. Kicked it free. And a good play he did. Kicked it free, and it was quickly sent by Steven Lorentz out and down the ice. Good play by Benoit. Panthers with 46 seconds in the power play. Across the line for Barkov, looking for a pass in front of the net from Bennett, but it was deflected off the side of the goal. Back to the point. Ekblad goes D to D to the far side, gets a return pass. Ekblad in the slot area, doesn't shoot it. Dished off on the left wing side for Bennett. Stolen by the Maple Leafs. Off the boards and down the ice it goes. And now 23 seconds left in the penalty as a long up by the goaltender gets to the line for Tkachuk. He sends it around to the far side for Rodriguez. Rodriguez loses it, and it's out into the center ice area. You mentioned that Florida has given up 5 shorthanded goals this year. Well, the Leafs won't get a rush here as the penalty expires. It's down into the corner in the Toronto zone. Pontus Holmberg couldn't come up with it. Back of the net. Ekman Larson takes his man down. Timmins back into the fray, and it's gone off his stick and up into the screen to stop play with 10:47 to go, and the Panthers trying to nurse a 3-1 lead over the Maple Leafs here at Amarat Bank Arena.
Boy, this place 2-6-1 when trailing after 2. But the 2 wins were back-to-back. They were down 3-1, similar to this. 3-1 into the third period against Washington. Scored too late before Tavares won it in overtime. And we're down by a goal in Edmonton. Came back to take the lead in the third. But Draisaitl tied it. The goalie on the bench. And Mitch Marner won it in overtime.
Leafs get it off Marner's skate through center, but it's going to turn into an icing as he tried to redirect that up to Willie Nylander, but it was...
And you'll also remember Bobby McMahon was instrumental in the comeback in Washington.
The Leafs will get Matthews back on Saturday. They've gone 7-1-0 without him in the lineup, and over his career, the Leafs are 42-20-2 when Austin Matthews hasn't been in the lineup, but it will be good to have the captain back.
Good to have a lot of guys back. We'll see what the extent is.
And
I don't think I've ever seen anything like this.
Especially the forwards. Yeah.
A couple of years ago, or even last year, Simon Denmark got his opportunity because of all the injuries in the blue line. I think that's why so many teams try to load up on blue line depth to get you through the season.
Puck around back of the Toronto goal. Timmins sends it back to his defense partner. Oliver Ekman-Larsson returns the favor. Timmins had to go off his stick, and now a turnover. And the Panthers are going to send it right back into the corner. Down goes Ekman-Larsson after it. He got it around back of the net. Into the corner for Marner. Marner is able to lift it out at center, and the Leafs Tavares working in over the line, dropping it back. Nylander closing with a pass back in for a pass into the slot area, and unable to finish was Timmins. And back come Florida. They'll send it down into the Leaf zone. Gadjevic got it into the corner. Timmins had a great chance there after Nylander got it to him. Holmberg in against the boards, ties his man up. Tanev trying to pry it free. The scrum along the boards continues. We'll let you know when it frees up. Not yet. No, not yet. Yeah, all right, now it's free. It's a pass into the slot area, and it's knocked wide of the net. I think that's one of the biggest changes in the sport since I first started being involved in hockey as a kid. Is that you put your foot on the puck or up against the boards, the whistle went, faced it off, right?
It's
everything
amazing,
moved along.
Amazing watching the old clips.
It is.
And like even, going back to, like I said, the mid-70s when the Flyers went, they used to get whistles all the time. Just put your skate against the wedge it up against the boards, blow the whistle, get a face-off.
Yeah. At any rate, the Leafs down a pair. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Breaking news, cut 365. Must be 19 or older. Ontario only. Please play responsibly. If you or someone you know has concerns about gambling, visit connectsontario.ca.
Getting my Honda CR-V has opened the door to adventure. With Econ Mode to maximize fuel efficiency, I'm free to explore. And with tons of cargo space, it's easy to pack for getaways. My dog, camping gear. It's like I've discovered a wild, adventurous side of me. Alice is excited too.
Lease the CR-V LX two-wheel drive for $99 weekly at 2.99% APR for 28 months with $2,000 down. Offer includes $1,500 lease bonus. OAC conditions apply. See HondaOntario.com.
Desjardins Insurance cares a lot about their clients. In fact, it's packed with such a ginormous amount of vast and substantial care that's bursting with even more whoppingly humongous and colossal care. You might be a little surprised when we tell you that all of that care fits in the palm of your hand. With the Desjardins Insurance mobile app, you'll get a big hand with 24/7 paper-free access to all of your home and auto policies, including your digital pink slip. Get insurance that's really big on care at Desjardins.com/care.
You're listening to Toronto Maple Leafs.
Hey, hockey fans. Thanks for hanging out with us tonight. You know the drill. You see the location pin. It's time. Let us know where you're watching from in the chat. Are you watching right downtown Toronto cheering on our buds from their hometown? Or are you out somewhere else in Canada, outside Canada, in the US, Mexico, around the world, Europe, Taiwan, China, anywhere in Asia? It is crazy. Thank you all for hanging out with us. Please let us know where you're watching from in the chat. It's so much fun seeing where we're all gathering from, cheering on our Leafs as they take on the Panthers tonight. Now let's have some fun in the chat. Let's keep it classy, and let's cheer on our Maple Leafs. Let's get lots of goals tonight, boys. Go Leafs, go! We'll see you back in there.
Works to the red line, shoots it in. Round the boards, far side. Cut off over there by Evan Rodriguez. He is into a traffic jam. Now Robertson trying to get to the puck but can't. And it'll be brought out at center and launched high into the Toronto zone. A bouncing disc. Controlled finally by Toronto's Tavares and played out into the center, or at least by Ekblad. And played her in back. Let's start over again. It is back in the Toronto zone.
Now it's over there.
Could you untie my tongue? It seems to be wrapped up here. Played down into the Florida zone, and I'll get a chance to unwrap it now because we've had a whistle on an icing. I hate them.
Well, the third period by the Florida Panthers. The Leafs had the one chance when Tavares was looking for a rebound, but other than that, this has been a very low event period. Shots on goal are just 2 apiece. With 7:54 to go. So this is Florida Panthers hockey right here.
This is what Paul Maurice tried to get them to buy into a couple of years ago. It got them to the final, and then it got them to the final, and it won it. Puck into the Florida zone. Kept in by Ekblad. Along the boards, trying to chip it along the boards was the Leafs, and it comes all the way back down into the Toronto zone. Riley got it up ahead at center. Connor Dewar overskated the puck. Played back into the Toronto end, forcing Morgan Riley back. Down on the boards, it'll go to Ekman Larsson. Return to Riley. Riley looks up ice and sends a long rink-wide pass, and it is chipped into the zone by Alex Nylander. Panthers are back in their own zone. 7 minutes to play in the third period. Leafs get a turnover. It is quickly regained by Florida and pushed along the wall. A stick blade goes flying in the exchange. Mikkola has lost the stick. Now the Leafs trying to take advantage of this. Nylander for Toronto. Back of the net to his brother. Alex works it back to the point. Leafs trying to get a chance, and now a whistle in front of the net.
Leafs are taking a penalty, and it might be Willie Nylander. As we've got a Florida Panther down. Is that Nate Schmidt?
Yes, it is. We weren't able to see what happened as it wasn't on the screen. But Schmidt is down, and Willie has gone to the penalty box.
And the question will be 2 or 4.
And Schmidt's got the towel on his mouth. Not sure. Well, we're going to get a look at it now. Nylander.
88 Toronto's got a double minor for a high stick.
There you go. And that could about do it.
Schmidt came up with his stick like he was going to cross-check Nylander, and Nylander did it better. Is about the way you could explain it.
We're going to throw another suspension into the mix?
Well, I would think that would certainly be looked at, wouldn't you?
It's already been decided.
Your tongue is in your cheek. You want to get it out? Or are you all right with it there?
Oh, no. Oh, no, Lane.
No, you're good?
I'm fine with it. Right.
All right. So that is going to put a real crimp in any kind of a comeback opportunity. A double minor for high sticking to Willie Nylander.
Those short-handed goals before it allowed.
Yep. Oh, the Panthers with a shot that deflects wide of the goal. Penalty kill brought to you by your Ontario Honda dealer as the Leafs get it out and down the ice. Up your game, lease the CRV from 2.99% up to 28 months. Visit HondaOntario.com. So with 6:12 left to play in the third period, 4 minutes, and the Leafs are going to have to catch a little of that shorthanded lightning in a jar. But reminder that Florida has given up 5 shorthanded goals. So if you're the eternal optimist, it's still there. But this is a pretty tough pill to swallow. Back to the point. Ekblad, a shot, block, rebound, bounced over the stick, and the Leafs are going to get it out and down the ice. And Tkachuk is slow to get up and limping as he works his way out of the zone and heads to the bench.
Is that a shot that caught him from the point?
I think it was. Played down into the Toronto zone. Otherwise, he'd be chasing after somebody, I would think. And a shot off the wing scores. Carter Verhaeghe picks the short side on his former teammate. And the first power play opportunity has resulted in a goal. And so the Panthers specialty teams have been the difference. 2 power play goals and a shorthanded goal. And they lead it 4-1.
6th of the season for Verhaeghe. 2nd on the power play. As we're watching again the highlight of Matthew Tkachuk, it was an Aaron Ekblad shot that caught him just in the right instep. But Verhaeghe, bit of a sharp angle. Picks the corner on Anthony Stolarz. I'm sure this is one that, oh boy, that might have been a double deflection. That might have hit Fraser Minton and then glanced off Chris Tanev.
Yeah, and up and over the shoulder of Stolarz. Don't you think that when they show replays that maybe the goal should be first and then we worry about the Tkachuk's foot later? Can't we get them back into some sort of an important...
I guess they all go in the queues, huh?
Your thoughts on being a producer? Play it around back with the Panthers on the power play again. And it is grabbed off now by Ekman Larsson, and he'll ring the boards with it to get it down into the Florida zone. 4:46 left to play in the third period, and the Leafs' 4-game winning streak appears to be a thing of the past. And the Panthers will climb to within a point of the Maple Leafs.
Still 1:10 to go in the second part of the double minor to Willie Nylander. Yeah, the special teams have taken a pretty good hit tonight. I think Craig Berube is going to be pretty happy with what he's seen 5-on-5. The only 5-on-5 goal was Tomaskovich, 5:36 of the first period, which put Ford up 2-0.
Face off to the right of Anthony Stolarz. Puck is won by Florida. They work it back on the left wing side. Here's a shot by Samoskevich that was stopped. It comes back to him. It comes back to the point. Punted over by Ekblad. He gets it back in the high slot. Almost stolen there. As Pontus Holmberg now does steal the puck, but can't get it into the zone cleanly. And Lorenz will get it a little bit deeper, but might have been a short-handed rush there, but really would have probably been a little too late, too little, too late. Panthers keep the puck in. Ekblad down into the corner. Trying to pad some stats here on the power play. Ekblad dishes it off. Looks for a return pass from Barkov, and a shot reflected over top of the Leaf goal. Cleared to the line, but not out. Ekblad keeping it alive. Far side for Barkov. Return to Ekblad. They play catch with it. Barkov with it again. Barkov's shot is into the glove of Stolarz, and he will stop play with 16 seconds left in the Nylander penalty. And the double minor for high sticking. And there is 3:39 left to play in the third period and the hockey game. 4-1 Florida.
Aaron Ekblad, as he often does, leads everybody in ice time tonight. 25-22 in ice time for the veteran Florida defenseman.
Face-off coming.
The time was correct.
No, thank you. Told us the time is correct.
What about the date?
I don't know. Does he know that it's Thanksgiving?
Well, is that, that's not Wes McCauley.
No, that's Francis Lecue at the penalty box going over whether the clock had run or something.
I think Wes McCauley might have had a better call of the time is correct. He's
really
somewhat
sure
famous in hockey circles for some of his calls, especially fighting majors.
There's
a little
he gets a little more animated through it. Well, they finally figured it out. Marner's having a discussion with Macaulay about that.
Everything we've seen is 3:39 left. 16 seconds left in the Florida power play.
I'm not sure. Now they got the headset on. For the love, I have no idea what this is all about.
I don't know what it's showing on the clock. Like you said, everything we've seen is 3:39 appears to be the correct time they've got to set it to.
And 16 seconds left in the Florida power play. And meanwhile, everyone is standing around, leaning on their sticks, wondering what's going on here.
Well, now we see the clock, and it's 3:39.
Everything seems to be copacetic there.
Or is now the penalty time may not be up? Is that what the problem is?
We don't need to reset the clock. The clock was correct.
Oh, good. Thank you.
So
well, I feel so much better about that.
Great. Rube lose the challenge.
Yeah, he wanted another 20 minutes on there, see if he can come back. A shot from the point is blocked and one-handed out into the center ice area.
Can you imagine having a 2-minute review of the time?
Yes.
Every whistle.
Pass on the left wing for Verhaeghe. He tried to drive the net, but Oliver Ekman-Larsson took him wide. The puck comes out at center ice. Nylander back onto the ice. Got a shot away, but it's right into the chest of Bobrovsky. And he will stop play, and let's hope we don't have to go and check the time again after that little flurry. So the Maple Leafs will have a couple of days off. American Thanksgiving, the league has the day off tomorrow. And on to Tampa, where they will play on Saturday night. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Hey, this is John Mayer. I have a channel on Sirius XM called Life with John Mayer. And we're celebrating our 1-year anniversary by being live all day on Thanksgiving. I'll be taking calls, playing songs, even sharing clips of my brand new interview show with special first guest Billy Joel.
People ask, what do you do to get charged up for the show? I said, you listen to the audience go, wow, when you walk on stage.
Hear me live starting tomorrow, 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific.
Hey, you. Yeah, you. The one that's hanging out with us listening to the hockey game on the radio. Yeah, the Panthers and the Leafs. How come you haven't subscribed yet? Let's go. Take a second, check that out, get out of the chat, hit that subscribe button down below, and turn on the bell so you don't miss it when we go live for every single Toronto Maple Leafs game this season, as well as every single Toronto Sports live game, and the Buffalo Bills too. All right, with that being said, we're on our way to 100,000 subscribers. We have just passed 61,000, and the climb continues. Thank you to this amazing community for making this the best place to hang out during a hockey game. So thank you for hitting that subscribe button and becoming an insider. Now let's have some fun tonight, and go Leafs go!
Absolutely blows your mind how good Sidney Crosby is and how much we take him for granted.
Sirius XM, NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and on your schedule with the Sirius XM app. The biggest names in the game.
Trying to get behind, wrist the line, and walks in, put it between his legs, shoots it, score!
NHL play-by-play on Sirius XM
Radio Network.
Well, the Leafs aren't going to go down without a fight. They have got the goaltender on the bench with 3:12 to go, hoping to really catch some lightning in a jar here. And it's shot out and down the ice by Florida.
The puck caught on end, started towards the net, and then curled back towards the corner.
So the faceoff will be in the Florida zone. The three former Florida Panthers, Oliver Ekman-Larsson, Steve Lorentz, and goaltender Anthony Stolarz with a tribute earlier in the game during one of the TV timeouts as the Leafs win the faceoff. Near side for Nylander. Nylander sends it off into the far wing. A centering pass went right past Tavares. And now the Leafs are able to keep it in, and a centering pass comes into the slot area. Barkov will push it out at center. Ekman-Larsson takes him out of the play, and the Leafs are back in their own zone, dropping it off for Nylander. Nylander comes through center. Played it off the boards for Tavares. Across the line, Willie in on the wing with a shot. Sharp angle. That was off the glove of Bobrovsky. The puck around back of the net. They battle for it. Tavares unable to get it clean. And now Minton got it back of the net. Centering pass. And it comes all the way back past everybody into neutral ice and back into the Toronto zone. 2:17 left to play in the third. Tavares skates through center and across the line. Lifted it into the left wing corner. Got there first and then swept it around to the far side to Nylander. Nylander getting it off the boards to Marner. Near side for Ekman-Larsson. A shot right on. There was a juicy rebound, but Tavares couldn't quite get a stick on it. Oliver Ekman-Larsson again. Back to the blue line it comes to Riley. A shot high. Deflects over top of the net. Grabbed off by the Panthers. They don't get it out. Kept alive by Toronto. Far side. Along the boards into the corner. Riley couldn't get it in front. And the Panthers are going to ring it off the boards and get it out at center. And with an empty net, Verhaeghe dishes it off. And the shot is taken instead by Sam Bennett. And he will score into the empty net. So they've done it just about every way you could. Couple of power plays, a shorthanded, and an empty netter. And the Maple Leafs are going to go down 5-1 here with 1:28 to go.
Next few days, we'll see the status of Bobby McMahon, whether it was precautionary or if, again, the Leafs are going to have to make some decisions. Maybe some other call-ups. Hopefully you do get Austin Matthews back in the lineup on Saturday.
And Nyes.
And maybe Matthew Nyes as well. But right now, the body count is 8. And that includes the suspended Ryan Reeves. But I don't think I've ever seen this in any era where this many forwards have been injured and out of the lineup with one team.
Played out at center ice by Toronto. Panthers unable to get to it. Dewar sends it high into the far corner. A sharp angle attempt taken there by Steves, and it was blocked, and it's back out at center ice with less than a minute to go in the hockey game. Panev gets it up at center. Alex Steves sends it down into the zone. Former Fighting Irish of Notre Dame grad got it up on the wing. Had a nice chat with him after the game the other night as we talked about the football program and how things are going here this weekend as they move on to play USC. Cleared it across the line, trying to get in for a shot was Grabenkin. That was blocked. Grabenkin gets it again. Now driving the net, but had it knocked off his stick before he delivered a shot on goal. Grabenkin comes out of the corner with it, takes it around back of the net. Still has it, tries to center off the paddle of the goaltender Bobrovsky. The final seconds ticking down as the Maple Leafs will surrender here 5-1 to the Florida Panthers. 3 stars are brought to you by Desjardins Insurance. Get insurance that's really big on care.
Well, fortunately, we're going to have to go all 4 tonight. I want to get Mitch Marner in there, the only goal for the Leafs, and it came in the power play. But we'll go 3rd star Sam Bennett. He had the empty netter, had an assist as well for a 2-point night, star number 2. Sam Reinhart really was the dagger goal, the one that made it 3-0, the shorthanded marker. But Alexander Barkov, star number 1, a goal and an assist, had the great setup on the Reinhart goal, and scored the opening goal for the Florida Panthers in the power play in the first period. So there's the 3 stars, 3 Bennett, 2 Reinhart, and 1 Barkov.
We are back with you on Saturday night, 7 o'clock start, when the Tampa Bay Lightning will entertain the Maple Leafs, and we hope that you will join us then. Postgame show coming your way with Ailish Forfar and Justin Cuthbert. You've been listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590, The Fan, and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
You've been listening to Molson Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590, The Fan, and the Leafs Radio Network.
What's up, insiders? All right. Nope. Bad game today. Bad game. Congrats, Marcel. You called it. Florida won. But, hey, you know what? It is what it is. Happy Thanksgiving, Veronica. Thank you so much. All of the Americans out there celebrating Thanksgiving, happy Thanksgiving. Have a great few days. And, there you go. The Macy's Day Parade there, Jake. Love it. And, hey, just wanted to give a big shout out to Brandy Gale. Brandy, you rock. Thank you for the super chat. Thank you for cheering on our buds. Thank you for being here. Thank you for finding us from California. Awesome to have you in the chat. Go Leafs, go. As well, we had a couple super chats. Thank you, Ghostwriter, the Panthers fan. Great channel. Go Canes. Boo Leafs. Well, thank you for the super chat at least. And B-Man, cheers. Thank you, guys. Now, I will let the post-game run, as always. That's what we do here on Toronto Sports Insider. We let the post-game run. Whether it's a win, whether it's a loss, whatever. All right. Everybody have a great evening. I am going to let it run and go to sleep. So cheers with my Coke that's almost gone there. And we'll see you guys on Saturday. Hop on over to the Raptors Lives wrapping up there. Some post-game running on that one. If you haven't hit the like button on the Raptors stream, go over there and hit that, please. Thank you, guys. Have a great evening. Good night. Hey.
To NHL Network Radio for the most in-depth hockey talk on the planet.
He is the GM of the Minnesota Wild.
Insiders.
The revenues and the big business.
And the best analysis on the air.
Alex Ovechkin!
The NHL on Sirius XM. Hear every team and your hometown call. NHL Network Radio. Sirius XM 91. And on demand with the Sirius XM app. Score! 24/7 hockey talk.
To understand that you are allowed to legally still check the head. Not just the head. The head by itself is a penalty. If you wanted to change it, that would be like in the IIHF. That's probably a penalty at the Olympics. That's probably at the World Juniors. That guy's gone and suspended. I ask you, do you want that?
Sirius XM, NHL Network Radio. Sirius XM 91. And on your schedule with the Sirius XM app. The best player analysts and insiders live on NHL Network Radio. Brian Burke.
I didn't like Nashville. I don't like the composition. I told you they had too many violins and not enough cellos. So to me, the anticipation was out of line, misplaced. So how do you fix it? I think you got to get back to the very basics. Change the way you play, change your style of play. It's the only thing you can do. You can't change the personnel much.
Get the latest opinion and analysis you need on the home of hockey, NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app. The biggest names in the game.
Trying to get behind Ristolainen, walks in, put it between his legs, shoots and scores!
NHL play-by-play on Sirius XM.
Radio Network, Eilish Forfar and Justin Cuthbert getting you set for Leafs talk momentarily. Leafs drop. Pretty sad one there. 5-1 for the Panthers in Sunrise, and it's been a good stretch of hockey for the Leafs. 7-1 without Austin Matthews. Panthers were kind of looking for their best game in a while. They were on a 4-game losing streak, and so the tide has turned, and the Panthers get the win.
Yeah, the Maple Leafs would probably due for one like this, right? 7 of 8 without Matthews is a really, really good run. But this was, as we advertised, a litmus test. This is a really good team that probably had this one circled too, and they did a lot of the things they did en route to a Stanley Cup last year in this game. Pretty good. A pretty dominant 5-on-5 play. The special teams were very good aside from the Mitch Marner goal. It was a reminder that the Florida Panthers are a pretty good team, maybe still the best in the Atlantic Division.
That's why they're Stanley Cup defending champs. Okay, let's take one last look at the NHL scoreboard presented by Bet365. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Must be 18 plus, Ontario only. Play responsibly. Visit ConnexOntario.ca.
Pretty wild night. So let's go through the finals. 7 to this point. The Blues beat the Devils 3-0. Hurricanes beat the Rangers 4-3. The Wild got a 1-0 victory over the Sabres. And the Bruins exploded in the third period, 6-goals, 6-3 over the Islanders. Wow. Penguins got a 5-4 victory over the Canucks. And the Canadiens 4-3 in overtime over the Blue Jackets. We saw one of the most egregious goalie goals, not like a goalie scoring a goal for his team, but Charlie Lindgren putting a goal in his own net.
It's actually horrible.
Playing for Washington.
It's hard to watch.
Put Tampa up 4-3, and Washington rallied and won the game. So credit to the Washington Capitals, who overcame one of the most egregious goalie moments I've seen in my lifetime. So 5-4 over the Lightning. Red Wings got a 2-1 victory in overtime over the Calgary Flames. The Predators lead the Flyers 2-1 nearing the end of the third period. 6-1, the Blackhawks are throttling Dallas. It's 0-0 early. Ducks and Kraken. Kings have an early 1-0 lead over the Winnipeg Jets. And still to come tonight, Colorado and Vegas. And then finally, Ottawa and San Jose. Happy Thanksgiving tomorrow for our friends south of the border.
Happy Thanksgiving to anyone listening with any intention to enjoy American Thanksgiving.
You will not be enjoying hockey because all the games were played tonight.
We can be enjoying some football and a little break. Okay, so our next Sportsnet 590 The Fan Molson Leafs hockey broadcast is next game, which is Saturday night against the Tampa Bay Lightning. So Justin and I will see you there, 6 p.m. pregame show on Saturday night, Hockey Night in Canada.
Will it be the return of Austin Matthews?
I'm going to go with yes.
Hopefully. Fingers and toes crossed.
Let's hope so. Okay, we'll send it over to Leafs Talk with JD Bunkis and Sam McKee. You've been listening to Molson Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Leafs Talk, JD Bunkis, Sam McKee. The Leafs get pumped by the Florida Panthers. They get drubbed. It's 5-1 in what was deemed a measuring stick game. Buddy, I'm going to tell you right now, okay? I hate to do this. I hate to set it up this way. But this is clearly a missed opportunity, right? Like, no one debates that. Missed opportunity in the standings, missed opportunity to go in there and get, like, what would have been a real statement game, getting a win with a shorthanded team that's been playing well. I got to say, there was a bunch of stuff in this game that I was kind of like somewhat encouraged by, little small details.
Oh, okay, crap.
And I did moral victories. This was moral victory night for me. Basically down 2-0. I went right into moral victory mode. I shut down on elite critiques. I got 1 or 2.
Agree talk tonight? Like, crap.
Agree talk soft boys, eh? No blood. Just
sure. There's a few things you can nitpick on, but
there's one.
I will say that to me was a well-coached effort for the Toronto Maple Leafs. Clearly shorthanded. We're losing Bobby McMahon in this game to add to how shorthanded you already are. But I thought that the compete level was there. A lot of the guys were in the right spots for most of the night. They were trying to play Berube type hockey. I thought, lines that had 3 AHLers had decent offensive zone time multiple times. Like, I really did think that it felt like a well-coached team. The D-core looked good to me. I thought Tanev and McCabe were really good against top competition. There's a lot of things that I liked in this game, but when it comes down to it, when, Marner and Nylander aren't on the ice, and sometimes when they were on the ice, you just have no chance. Like, you just really, really felt that the difference in the talent level and the difference in the amount of NHLers in the lineup between the two teams, it was too much to overcome. And you can overcome it against the Utah Hockey Club on a Sunday night. You can overcome it against some of these crappier teams that the Leafs have beat during this stretch. But tonight was the first time we're like, oh, yeah, they need some of their NHLers back to have a chance against this team.
Yeah, that was my thought, too, is this was the first time where it really felt like, oh, this is an AHL forward group against an NHL Stanley Cup champion who, like, the boys are in over their skis tonight. This is just a really tough one to hammer them on because it's very far removed from the Leafs team that you're going to see. And I don't have a lot of guys that I circled tonight and went, wow, like this was really horrible or this was really awful. You're right about the coaching stuff. I just thought that they tried to play a low event game. They started slow, right? Against a hungry Panthers team that was desperate to get a win, has the Leafs in their building. Their coach, like we all heard everything from the broadcast. I don't even need to really go over those. It was like bag skate. Maurice gives a big speech and Panthers are ramped up and they weren't going to let Toronto hang around. They were going to come out and give their best punch. And there's a power play early on. Unfortunately, I thought Grebenkin's worst moment of the game. I don't know why people are upset about that one being a penalty. It's like it's in the numbers. It's from behind.
It was a weird one because they're kind of going in parallel, but he ends up touching the numbers a little bit. I think it would have. I thought both plays that it resulted in power plays in the first 5 minutes of the game were an easy play on situation, like where
but that's the thing, they called the
pushes
first
them
one.
over. Yeah, they have to call the second one if they call the
That's what I mean.
one.
So I was like, I don't know. I wasn't going to cry over that. I got some people messaging me being like, ref talk. And I was like, this is not the,
I will not
we
be
don't talk about the refs, but like, that is an absolute don't talk about the refs. Anyways, they rip it around. They beat Stolarz. I think that, again, Stolarz has been great this season. That's one that you'd maybe like to have.
Sure.
He did get beat clean a second time tonight, but you would like to see him get across his post there and maybe make a save. You're going to need him to stand on his head to win that hockey game. But yeah, once the Leafs are down 2-0, you just felt like, oh, these guys, it would be a miracle for them to score 2 goals in this game. They're not scoring 2 goals, and they had some opportunities, but the power play, you're looking at PP1 and it's got Alex Nylander on it, and you're like, oh, yeah. This is going to be tough sledding tonight. So, yeah, they fell behind early. And then I thought that they got back in the game, like around the 11-minute mark in the first period. Leafs started to kind of dig in, grind, gave them a lot of good shifts. Pretty competitive effort for, again, a team that was really just out-talented tonight and overmatched. And so, yeah, I'm not overly upset about it. And like I said, I have a few takeaways that I think are positive because I'm looking at this one as, man, what a test for the Mintons of the world, for the Grabenkins of the world, that they get to be in a game like this and see what it's like to play Florida Panthers hockey in what was a meaningful game. So that to me is probably more important than anything that transpired tonight, honestly.
For sure. I mean, I love right after they scored the second goal, they had multiple really good shifts where, you know, there's that cycle shift where it's the third line where they have Grabenkin out there, they have Minton out there, and they're going along the boards and they're making a great play. And then the puck comes through Grabenkin and he gets it out to Minton. And Minton rings one off the post with a great shot. And if that goes in, you know, it's a different game. You start feeling better about yourself. It clearly didn't go in. And, you know, I didn't really mention Alex Nylander a whole lot in that shift. You know, he's out there trying, he's out there playing or whatever. But I thought the key guys in that play were Grabenkin and Minton. And I like a lot what I've seen from Minton. To me,
me too.
I have to say that he was lower down on my depth chart, mostly because maybe he was the captain of one of the worst World Junior teams that I've ever seen. And maybe that had some of my biases towards it. There's maybe something there. But I just, you know, I saw him last year make the team and he was great in preseason, but he didn't do much when he actually got the call up, right? Like when he played, I don't think he really had much of an impact or whatever. But through his, however many games he played, is this his 4th game or his 3rd game?
Third
from through the 3 games that he's played, I've seen more from him than I did in that 9-game sample he had last year to start the year. Clear growth from him. Really like what I'm seeing from him. Responsible, right side of pucks, all the stuff they talk about. You just want him doing this for the Marlies. You don't want him out there having a battle against Florida and Tampa and, you know, it's good experience for him for sure, like you mentioned. But ultimately, you want him down doing this stuff where he's excelling at the AHL level before maybe he's ready to contribute full-time next season.
Well, this is the thing that sucks when you don't have a lot of depth, right? Is you're forced to, and not like this small sets of games is bad, but I agree with you that a full season of this guy playing major minutes for the Marlies on the top line, where they're scoring goals and getting consistent power play, like it's not as he gets pulled off of power play 1 after 2 games, and you're like, yeah, obviously he didn't. You know, it's not his fault. He's not ready to be doing that, but you want him to be playing power play minutes. You want him to have 20 a night in a professional league. And against the Florida Panthers in a competitive game, you're just not getting that when you're Fraser Minton. So to me, he's still a developing player. The problem is when I watch him play right now, I go, yeah, you're not one of the worst 12 forwards on the Toronto Maple Leafs. Like
he played 15 minutes again tonight. So he's been up around 15 minutes every night that he's played. Like he's a real contributor in a time where they've really needed him. And I think he ended -2 tonight. So, you know, that's the way it goes for him. But I think one of those maybe was an empty net. But anyways, I've liked what I've seen from him. So we'll see how much he gets to go once guys start getting back healthy here and what they're but it feels like as long as Kant's out, and he went on LTIR, right? I think he's eligible to come back against Detroit mid-December. So feels like as long as he's out, he's going to be around. So we'll see more from him. But I thought another pretty impressive night for a kid that's contributing above his level tonight.
Totally. And honestly, I thought the same with Grabenkin. Is like
his best night for sure.
He was awesome tonight. For again, you got to have it for what your expectations are, right? Because people are probably going like, oh, you say it, everybody's awesome. They lost 5-1. It's like, yeah, man. Again, AHLers playing against the Florida Panthers and both guys had multiple shifts where you noticed them in positive ways. And to me, it's like one of the takeaways from this game that it like actually means something is if you're Toronto and you are playing Florida, you got to stay out of the box. Like the penalty kill is great, but that Florida power play is very scary and you can just put you behind in a hockey game. So you got to be disciplined, right? And so the Gulbenkian penalty aside, thought he was solid tonight. There was a couple moments where he's threatening. He kicks over the puck on the only goal that this team has. You know, fine skater, plays with an edge. Again, that's the penalty that we're showing right now on the old YouTube screen. But I like him along the boards. I think that he's just a player who's engaged. He's really trying to take a lot away from this opportunity. I like the way that they're showing cutaways to him and Minton on the bench talking to each other after shifts, like they're communicating.
I'm sure those are pretty groundbreaking conversations.
Yeah, but he's trying, bro. Like, you know, it's just like he's trying.
I know.
I like his game. And so for me, again, like if we're doing meaningful takeaways in this one, like the thing that is just so abundantly clear at this point is that the Robertson era has got to be done. You just gave him an opportunity with William Nylander tonight. And it was just like the classic game where the kid's working his bag off. It's not an issue thing, right? Like you can't fault him for it because
an effort thing, you mean? Yeah, it's not an effort thing.
No, he's trying out there, dude. Yeah. He's trying so hard. You can tell how much he's pressing, but he bobbles pucks and he can't stay on his skates. Like, look at this shift. Where it's like I don't know. No, this is the goal that they let up where he's brutal on this one, man. Yeah. Like the second goal of the game.
Did you see Borney in the intermission?
No.
Nailed it. Like he's just totally fighting it. And he goes in there to throw a body check. Yeah. And he's just like, that's not your game. Like why? And he just gets him right in a position. Now he's lost and he's looking around. He's standing there still. And it's like, why are you trying to throw a body check against a guy that's just not going to do anything? Like, what are you doing?
Hey, Sammy, Justin Bourne doesn't need my help, but this is what I actually texted him before the break. So this was literally what I texted him after the goal. And so if you had let me finish that one, that was like literally the point I made to Bourne in the text. I hated that shift from him. And then it just looked like he got lost too, where it was just like he kind of had a bit of a stutter step where he's like, oh crap, what's going on here? And panicked when things started to go poorly. But this shift in the offensive zone is the one that just like kind of broke me a little bit with Robertson tonight, where the Leafs are actually getting something going on. Nylander's ripping the puck around. It's feeling like they're going to be dangerous. A puck goes down low to him and he can't handle it. And I hate that. I shouldn't say I hate this because I actually kind of like this, but it's like, man, he used to be scratch and score. Now it's just like Nicky bobbles. Like he just bobbles pucks constantly. Like it happens so much. And then the shift dies because he can't stay on his skates, falls down, and the Panthers get a zone exit. And I know that some of this is frustration for him. I know that some of this is definitely in his head. I know that if you play him for 100 games, he's got enough goal scoring talent that he's going to end up having a couple of games where he strings them together and some pucks go in the back of the net. But watching Gulbenkian and watching Minton and even watching Steves and some of these other depth players that Toronto has, it's like they can just do more for you. The floor is just so much higher for them than it is for Nick Robertson. And frankly, the first body out for me is him. It's just, it's over. It's done. And for anybody that's still on the island, like there's just nothing left to say because I've been even texting with some of his most ardent defenders and they're out too. So like, I just, it's over. It's done.
Yeah. I mean, now that Bobby McMahon's out, even if Matthews comes back, he'll probably still be in the lineup. Bobby McMahon's not going to play on Saturday night, but if Matthews and Nyes are both back on Saturday night, he's first out. No question. Like there's just absolutely no question. I totally agree. Can we roll that 2-on-1 again there, show if we can? Like I've just never seen a guy on a play here who doesn't know what he's doing on a play. Like if you just see him on this 2-on-1, if we don't have it, it's all good. But like he holds on to it, and he's in his sweet spot on his, coming down the off wing. That's a spot where you can fire it low blocker, like, and he holds it, doesn't know to like. Clearly nothing there with Willie. Willie's way out wide. If you watch it, it's just fire the puck. Your whole thing, man, is fire the puck. And he tries to cut it up to the backhand. You have low blocker on your strong side. Just rip it. That's your whole game. And he's got to go somewhere else and find it because I think there's a world where he goes somewhere else and it works out and he shoots a few in the net for a bad team this season. Sure, that's fine. But it's a broken situation here. It's just a broken situation, and you can just tell that he is a guy that is fighting it so badly, and he doesn't know what the hell he's supposed to do out there. He doesn't.
Anyway, I didn't bring this up to just be like, because again, this team didn't lose because of Nick Robertson tonight. It's just that to me, it was the most apparent thing of like, this can't continue. You cannot envision him in this playoff series doing anything against a Florida Panthers team. Like, it's if it's a measuring stick game where you're trying to have takeaways from it, you absolutely have to come out of this with like a pretty conclusive feeling of like, this guy is just not going to be able to impact this series.
Nope.
Yeah. So what's next for you?
So we talked about how there's a lot of positive takeaways. I thought the shorthanded goal was
brutal.
A joke. I thought it was a total, you're in this game. It was 2-0 at that point. It's an opportunity to get yourself back into the game.
Yep.
And John Tavares has been really good this season. Give him full credit. He gets knocked on his ass. He draws the penalty. He gets knocked on his ass on this play, the play before this. Gets a shot on net. Clearly tired, clearly just getting knocked over. And he just makes a play where he's not thinking. And then it's a total dog's breakfast down the other way. And in a game like this, where you're totally shorthanded, you have none of your good players really outside of 3 guys. You can't be the guys that make this kind of mistake that costs you the game, really, because it goes to 3-0 and the game's over. They score in the power play. Mitch has a beautiful goal or whatever on the power play, but you can't, this is a brutal play by Tavares. And then they're just totally no communication, lost here. No one picks up the best shooter in the league and he goes bar down from between the hash marks. It's a really, really bad play that you just can't have from your stars. And Tavares has been excellent. He's been a really good player for them during this stretch.
But you can still have a really poor moment that costs you the game.
That play cost him the game. That was the game. I mean.
Like that was absolutely, okay, this one is conclusively over now. And especially when the team was actually having a bit of a push there, right? Is they did feel in it. And all of a sudden it felt like maybe the Panthers, that they had given their best punch and that the game started to normalize a little bit for them, and that Toronto was coming back with good energy and younger legs. And so for you to have a power play and then turn it into the back of your net where it's your
power play was awful tonight.
Yeah.
They ended up scoring at the end of that one of the broken play that Mitch gets or whatever. But for the most part, it was just looking like early season power play again. It was brutal.
Well, it was kind of funny thinking so I really do think that one of the questions when Matthews comes back is what is the power play going to look like? Because it has been materially better. It's just a fact. Since he's been out, it's been one of the best power play units in the NHL. Yeah. And there's clearly a different look to it, especially with the movement that it has. Tonight, it felt like a lot more stagnant, but you went, you figure out the Matthews getting back on power play 1 when Nylander's out there, and then they're swapping Benkin in there. You go, okay.
You get him in there. I think you'll find a way to sneak old 34 back on the top unit.
I don't think it's going to be a big old problem getting 34 back on the power play unit right now. But really nice play by Gurbenkin on that goal too. Just the awareness to just drive and then kick it towards Marner, and then
they took it away. They took away his assist.
Why?
Because I think it hit the other guy first. It was it hit the defenseman before it went. So he didn't get his first NHL assist.
That's a waste.
Classic Florida goals.
Yeah, that guy in there, that booth that does the scorekeeping for Florida is no.
Yeah, he took that away on purpose.
That's calculated. That's a calculated move.
Yeah. Bush League.
Yeah, I'm with you though. It's Tavares, you out of everything that should be accountable in this game, that power play and those guys when they had those opportunity and him specifically, that is the number one reason that they lost.
Get the puck in deep. Get the puck in deep.
Yep, 100%. You're right though, man. So I guess what do you think about Stolarz tonight?
I felt bad for him. I felt bad for him that his first borderline bad game was against his former team. Probably wanted this one really bad. And listen, the first one maybe should have saved it. Second one, he has absolutely no eyes on it.
No.
Third one is, is he leading the league in goals? Sam Reinhart down the chute, bar down. Didn't love the fourth one. Thought he was made himself a little bit small.
The fourth one was kind of jarring because you never see him get beat like that. You haven't seen him get beat like that all season.
So I felt for him. I think it's, the first time where you're really starting to feel that it's a competition here. And now to me, it's a real question that Wall goes on Saturday, right? If you're going by recent form, Wall got 2 in a row. and played well, got 2 wins against crappier teams, no question. Like you can't get around that. But if you're not going on by the Stolarz boys, who would both give him the start on Saturday night, I think they're probably going to give the start to Wall on Saturday night against Tampa, right? So it's a tough one for him. I feel for him.
There's a couple things though. One is that I think that we kind of have to give up on the notion of like them fighting for the net, because to me, it is going to be a split.
Well, they're about to play 100 games in 10 days in December.
That's what I mean. So yeah, the light schedule that we just saw the last 2 weeks is about to kick up entirely. These guys are going to be like really splitting games. And I don't know how much meaning we're going to be taking out of this in terms of like a battle for the net until like truly the final month of the season, the final couple weeks of the season, where you're going to be maybe arguing to ride the hot hand unless one guy like truly differentiates himself. So I think I'm going to not read too much into who gets what starts.
That's fair.
For like the majority of the season, or thinking riding the hot hand. What I would say though is, to me, if I was a manager, like if I was coaching this situation, I was deciding on it, you'd be torn between 2 ideas here, which is 1, you want to get back to Wool when he's playing well and he's getting in a groove. But then 2, being like, don't you want to give the guy the net the following game to let him kind of set it and forget it and not have this linger with him that he's been sitting on a 4-goal game against his former team for a bunch of days. So I think he's probably like Stolarz is a pro. He's been around for a long time. He'll probably be able to flush this pretty quickly. But I did feel for him, like you mentioned, because I had Brian Boyle on my podcast today, and I asked him about this.
He said this is the year. I was like, oh my God, this is the year, Boiler?
I did a little rant after. I'm also in this is the year. I got this.
That has never backfired. No Leaf fan has ever said this is the year.
I said in the rant that I'm willing to put the clown makeup on, but there's like some material differences here that I really believe in with this team. And like, again, you saw some of them tonight where it's just the blue line is better. They're just a team that I believe in the structure. I believe in the coaching. Like, they're so shorthanded right now. Some of these young guys are getting these important reps where if they do have to step in, maybe they're not going to feel completely overwhelmed by it. They're going to head into the trade deadline with just very, very clear objectives, which is add forwards, right? Most notably a center, but then they could obviously use help on the wing. If they're healthy, like, they've got their stars in their primes. They've got better goaltending, like better than they've ever had under this Matthews, Marner, Nylander era. I don't know. Tavares doesn't look old. He's been playing well. Tanev looks exactly like you expected him to be. Like, I'm just having trouble finding a lot of holes as to, like, and the Eastern Conference looks watered down right now. Like, nobody looks like a massive juggernaut.
People don't get to the middle of the ice as much against the Leafs, and it's just the slot chances are way down. And that's why when they had on the shorthanded goal, when Reinhart walked right down Main Street, it was like jarring to me. I was like, oh God, I remember that happened every game when the Keefe was the coach.
There were some flashes tonight of like older Leafs, but again, really shorthanded roster. Anyways, the point I was making about the Boyle thing was just like, I asked him about, when guys have the coach face their former team versus players. Mm-hmm. He's like, no. The players care far more for the guys that are facing their former team. He's like, it's not even that it's acrimonious. You just go into those games trying to really dig deep for those players. And so it obviously means something to those guys. And certainly Stolarz, who's a competitor and wants to prove like, hey, I could have been a guy for you, and just sucks. Anyways, you ready for rapid fire?
One of the chats we got here from old Biff and Hap. Hell of some of these names are crazy. It says Tavares and Marner switched into playoff mode tonight.
I don't feel that way.
I thought that they were not breathtaking by any stretch of the imagination, but they had a pretty tough matchup going up against Barkov, and
I was gonna say, that's literally the best two-way guy in the NHL. That's the Selke guy. That's modern. I don't know. I got nothing really about them that I thought the turnover by Tavares was really bad.
Brutal.
But like, Marner scored in the game and actually created a couple of opportunities. I thought Tavares was really like digging in deep. Even same thing where it's like he takes one in the mouth and still gets in there and wins that draw.
And got a shot off after he got hit in the mouth.
Yeah, like, I don't know. They're playing literally the reincarnation of Anze Kopitar, and they still created for some shots. It's just, so I don't know. I didn't come away from this game going like, wow.
It's easy though. Like, the scars are there. And,
I don't
you see the Leafs. You see buddy.
I don't blame Biff and Hap. I don't blame Biff and Hap. Fine, Biff and Hap. You can have that thought. I'm just saying for me personally, I didn't watch this game and go like, wow, what a ghostly performance from Tavares and Marner tonight. Like I didn't feel that way. I do feel bad for a rapid fire. Yeah. God, Willie needs Matthews back or Knies or somebody. They're sending this guy over the boards with the Marlies. Yeah. Like at least Tavares and Marner have each other, and McMahon gets hurt tonight. They put Grabankin up there on the top line, which I thought he earned that opportunity. But like Willie's going over with Robertson and with Holmberg and with like whoever the hell else they're sending over the boards. And it's just, this guy's still producing. I saw you do a tweet about this before the game, still producing with absolute, like, quad A talent. And tonight it really felt like he was like, oh my God, I'm sick of this. And just, he wasn't totally engaged. He wasn't at his best. I think he got his first shot midway through the third period or whatever. But like at some point, I would never say that I understand it because it's a professional hockey league. You got to go out there and you got to play. But when you're playing with these two guys all the time and you're one of the best players in the league, it's got to be pretty frustrating. So can I tell you something? That's my defense of Nylander tonight. Is that okay? Or are you going to get mad at me for that one? No, I don't think there's defense. I got no problem with it. My thing is like Nylander has played with essentially anybody. Like, anyone. The only time that Domi looked good all year was when he was with Nylander. And who was the guy? Was it Knies on their wing? It was those three when they were looking good? And so it's like, I don't know, man. I am of the mind, like, let him suffer with the bums because he has done fine. Like, let him drag the bums. They're clearly making some concessions with him. Like, he's playing the full power plays. And I wonder if this is actually going to continue where they're like, hey, guys, get off the ice. Nylander, you stay out. You play with power play too. Do whatever. Like they gave his brother an NHL contract. Like, I don't know. It's not all bad. He's like, what? Still tied for third or fourth in the NHL in scoring. He's just been so good that this, to me, the model of this team, what you want to continue to find out is, can you have three lines that drive play? And I'm leaving. Hopefully McMahon turns out to be healthy and that he's not going to be missing a lot of time. It looked like Foot. He hobbled off the ice. Yeah. When he went off, like it was like he was limping. Yeah. And they showed the clip of him getting beat up. It could have been that one where he got it on the knee. There's that weird. There's also that weird. This one here. Yeah. There's that weird knee nerve. Say that one 10 times fast. That like guys go down. It looks like they can't walk, and then they're kind of okay. But the fact that he didn't come back from at all, and this is a guy that's dealt with injuries his whole career. Yeah, always banged up. They missed him last year. He was mystery injury. Didn't play one playoff game for them. Like this has always been a thing with him. So I would bet a lot of money on him not being in the lineup on Saturday night against the Tampa Bay Lightning. I'm never like a really big injury speculate guy, but maybe he misses some time. But either way, I think that you found something with that line and you're hoping to continue it. I'd like to see Matthews reunited with Domi over reuniting him with Nylander. Yeah. And then, I just let Nylander. Buddy, I'm telling you right now, McMahon out. I'll tell you who's playing together Saturday night if he's back. Matthews and Marner are playing together. I don't think so. For sure. If McMahon's out, it's like, well, we're going to break up the line. Were they going to put Grabankin up there? I don't know. No, it's going to be Matthews, Marner for sure. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens. But I think if you're Berube and you do that, it's like now you're not going to be able to take them back apart, and you've done damage. Like, I don't know. Anyways, a lot of people are asking like what Robertson's trade value is. It's like, yo, he might not get claimed on waivers. Like, no, that's not true. He would go for still a third or a fourth round pick. No Some way. Team would take a flyer on him. I think they would. That's my opinion. I'm not going to shift off it. Teams third and a fourth round pro scouts, bud. Like, there's no way. He's a fifth. He's a fifth. Like, buddy, I've still talked to some people too who are like, it's take him. He's definitely not clearing waivers. Like, I don't know. I'm joking. So it's joking. Okay, but it's like I think that he would still go for something in that range between like a 3 and a 4. Like that's what people would pay for Robertson. They'd go, he snake bit, he still got this, blah, 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 blah. We'll take him on a challenge. Then why hasn't it been done? Because they need him. Like they've needed bodies. You can't trade guys out when you're playing Alex Nylander, Grabankin, Minton, Robertson, like, who's the next guy? Where's Abruzzese? Get Abruzzese up. Like, he can't be worse. Like, the next guys,
get Logan Shaw, get the Marlies captain up.
Kyle Clifford might make an appearance back with the Leafs. Like it's getting deep. It's getting deep. So that's why they haven't done it. I think when they get bodies back, they're going to move them out pretty much ASAP, Liljegren style, where it's like the first team that offers them anything can have them because it's just clear. It's over. The Tomasino trade. That was the one that it was for a fourth. I thought it was for a third. My bad. But that's kind of what I'm looking at there is like he's worth a fourth round pick then. Third is probably too high. You're probably too low on fifth. Let's split the difference and say you could probably still get a fourth for Nick Robertson.
Virtual handshake.
Yeah. And then you do it. And then you do it and you say time to move on and not discuss this again. I would do it. I would actually do it for less, but simply so that I don't get tricked in the preseason again. I'm like, the version of Tim Robinson, like no more tricking adults into thinking they're stars. That's me with every preseason going like, you can't trade him, you can't give up on him. He's got something to give, and then it's not really there.
I forgot to ask the guys to clip this.
Potential?
Yeah. Do you think?
It's borderline. It's definitely not. Definitely no.
Oh, buddy, please let us have it. And then we could just whine about player department. I'll do it. I'll be the guy. Let's give him something to talk about.
I don't think this. Okay, so
fine for sure. Fine. Probably not. None of us asked for it. It was like a bang play.
Yeah, it was kind of an obvious one to get. That's anyway.
I'm not going to bury the A team, buddy.
Yeah, that's true. But come on, that's a big moment. It's a double. Yeah. Anyway, whatever. If we don't have it, we don't have it. But yeah, I don't know. To me, this is one where I go, if he gets suspended, I'm not really going to bat an eye at it. And yet I watched it originally and I didn't think that's a suspension. Like, does that count for anything? Like, when it happened in the moment, I didn't think like, oh, he's suspended.
There we go.
Yeah, there we go. Boys turn around.
A team's on. Uh-oh. Yeah. Oh, he draws a double minor.
Yeah.
Oh, A team's
A team.
Hot seat A team.
A team completely botched this tonight. This is really, it's like there's the A team.
This is it.
Yeah,
they got it.
Now we got it. So you know what I'm saying though? When I first watched it, I didn't think like suspension. And then the second time I watched it, I was like, oh, maybe he's getting suspended. So I don't know.
And Schmidt was pretty banged up. Like he was in some discomfort. So they always go off how bad guys are hurt or whatever. So I don't know. If they suspend William Nylander, who's never done 130 thing in his career for an accidental cross check to the mouth, that's classic Peros. So
yeah, it's like one of those things though, where it's like with the stick and then the head and neck area.
Oh, he might. Yeah, he's gonna get suspended.
Yeah, I don't know.
So Saturday night will be fun. Yeah. Who's the next guy called up?
Watching that one that time, like
he actually might get suspended.
He puts that lumber right in his face. I think that's a tough one.
Is it worse? Like, what's his name just got suspended for something like that? Timo Meier?
Yeah, but that's what I mean. Like, this one's not even like a situation where like the stick rides up, you know, because those are usually the ones where I think you get a little bit of forgiveness, where it's like hit the body first and then the stick elevates. Like that one's just lumber right to the head and neck. So yeah, I think that's a suspension. I think that's going to be a suspension. So
watching it again, there is potential. Like the thing is, maybe if I'm playing those dorks at the league, I would say like the one thing I would look at is that Nate Schmidt tried to engage him first, and he was going to engage and he just missed. Like I don't know if he meant I don't think he meant matter.
I'm not saying intent, but like again, intent is not. We just learned this. Like intent is not the thing. It's not the thing at all. You're not trying to get in the heads of the players and what they were thinking and what they were trying to do. You give them the benefit of the doubt. That's what track record is for.
Let's see this again.
It's
one more time on YouTube.
It's like clearly right in his
he might get a game. You're right. Kraft, you're right.
He's getting one, brother. He's getting one.
Saturday's gonna be fun.
I felt the same way when I first watched it. I was like, that's nothing. And then I watched it the second time and I was like, oh boy, that's much worse than I thought it was. So yeah, possible suspension there for William Nylander. Last thing for me. This is the smallest of rapid fires.
Yeah.
Again, meaningful takeaways. This has been an amazing season for Connor Timmins, and I gave him a B+ today on my show. I did all my Leafs grades for all the players, and
it's shaky tonight against some good competition, I would say.
Correct. That was the first one where you go, oh,
Oopsies. That high stick was absurd.
Yeah.
Like, what were you doing there? And then he gets barbecued where like he gets his feet stuck in mud. The guy bounces around. I think Boakfist was it that bounced around him. Couple turnovers. I thought Benoit still like made a couple good physical plays.
I liked Benoit tonight. I think Benoit
looked like 23 Timmins to me tonight. I was like, oh boy.
Yeah, it was very much like, hey, somebody's got to be the whipping boy, and on the blue line side, it's definitely the guy that took the 2 penalties and got barbecued. Last thing for me. You got anything else? Because I got one more.
No, I'm good. What do you got?
Am I allowed to be lightly annoyed if Matthews plays Saturday night? Like he plays 20 minutes and he's just fine.
Sure could have used him tonight, fella.
That's what I mean.
That's all I'll say.
Like, yeah.
Wouldn't have minded old 34 out there tonight. Would have helped.
If he doesn't play Saturday, then I'm like, all right, who cares?
Mm-hmm.
But if he plays Saturday, he plays 20, he looks fine. I'm going to be moderately annoyed. I'll just say.
I had this take on the show on Kipper and Bourne. I was like, you could just play. Like, you could have just played. Like, it's not Berube confirmed. It's not like he's a healing thing. It's like it's a getting back up to speed thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you should probably want to play this game.
Yeah, like I get it's November.
Still, like you don't want to play.
No, but it's not even that. It's like
75%. You're not better than Alex Nylander or Nick Robertson.
But that's the thing to me is, and I know we're gonna get some cries in the chat of like,
this is how I feel about it.
Yeah, I do too. I'm like, this game against, like, when this game started, when it was puck drop, it felt big tonight. And you went, these are huge 2 points.
Yeah.
Like, for you to send Florida after their bag skate into 5 straight losses, and for you to have this momentum of just like, holy crap, we just beat the defending Stanley Cup champions with an AHL team. And, now we're up, they would have been up, 5 points in the standings? Like, it would have been, I don't know. Apparently, everybody says that Kipper says it's going to be 5-1 tonight.
Kipper said they were going to win tonight.
I don't know. Just saying that, like, a lot of people misheard, apparently, then if you got this wrong. Like, I don't know. Maybe you're not
I got to go back and listen to it, but I'm pretty sure I was sitting across from him. I don't think he said that.
I like, think he's the deity. It's what is the guy called in Dune show? Was it Habib?
I don't know. I've never seen Dune.
You never saw Dune? Yeah, you're one of those guys where it's like you just refuse to see like the big.
I saw the first Dune. I saw the first Dune. I didn't see Dune 2. I like Dune 1, but I didn't see Dune 2.
There is no way I could read that. Kiwizat Hadarach.
Who the hell what is that?
I think you're setting me up to fail here, is whoever wrote that.
What's going on? A-Team's killing us tonight.
Yeah, El Gabib, that's the one. Who's this? Kiwizat Hadarach.
What is going on?
Anyways, whoever wrote that, prison. Like, what's going on here? Like, why are the boys sewering me here? Like, we use you as a support system, and tonight you're throwing out the wrong clips, the wrong names. Like, you're killing me. Anyways, all right. I love the boys. You know that. They're teasing the love. All right. You done? We're done?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. I feel like Saturday night is going to be a night that may not feature William Nylander. The more that I watch that game, that play. So
yeah,
should be fun. Get ready for Nick Abruzzese and Kyle Clifford and Logan Shaw in the lineup on Saturday night when you're down 2 more forwards, McMahon and Nylander.
Oh yeah, buddy. Cannot wait. See you Saturday night. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at JD Bunkus, at Simon McKee. Subscribe to the show. Leave a thumbs up on YouTube. Leave a comment. Do all those things. And we'll see you Saturday night for the Marlies game.
From the biggest stadiums to the coziest holes in the wall. From house parties to porch hangs to pride celebrations. From your favorite fuss shop to your local Indian spot. From noodle bars to sports bars to salsa bars. There's a Molson with your name on it. Canadian Ultra XL. Molson. Everyone in. Must be legal drinking age.
Getting my Honda CRV has opened the door to adventure with Econ Mode to maximize fuel efficiency and free to explore. And with tons of cargo space, it's easy to pack for getaways. My dog, camping gear. It's like I've discovered a wild, adventurous side of me. Alice is excited too.
Lease the CRV LX 2-wheel drive for $99 weekly at 2.99% APR for 28 months with $2,000 down. Offer includes $1,500 lease bonus. OAC conditions apply. See HondaOntario.com.
Desjardins Insurance cares a lot about their clients. In fact, it's packed with such a ginormous amount of vast and substantial care that's bursting with even more whoppingly humongous and colossal care. You might be a little surprised when we tell you that all of that care fits in the palm of your hand. With the Desjardins Insurance mobile app, you'll get a big hand with 24/7 paper-free access to all of your home and auto policies, including your digital pink slip. Get insurance that's really big on care at Desjardins.com/care.
You've been listening to NHL Play-by-Play on SiriusXM. Head over to SiriusXM NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91, for the best hockey talk.
A nice gift to send Dave Checketts, who's a good friend of mine, by the way.
I love it. I never knew that. I love it.
SiriusXM NFL Radio Channel 88 brings you expert analysis from former players, coaches, and executives, plus reaction to all the latest news on the only 24/7 station dedicated to the National Football League.
I'm Frank Trachtenberg with your SiriusXM NHL schedule for Wednesday, November the 27th. All times are Eastern, and please remember, all games, times, and channels are subject to change. Check SiriusXM.com for the latest updates. In the NHL, 7 p.m., Buffalo Sabres take on the Minnesota Wild. Sabres on Sirius 208, XM 219, and Internet 922. Wild on Internet 933. 7 p.m., New Jersey Devils face the St. Louis Blues. Devils on Sirius 209, XM 220, and Internet 936. Blues on Internet 944. 7 p.m., Carolina Hurricanes face the New York Rangers. Hurricanes on Sirius and XM channels 91, Internet 924. Rangers on Internet 938. 7:30 p.m., Pittsburgh Penguins face the Vancouver Canucks. Penguins on XM 391, Internet 941. Canucks on Internet 948. 7:30 p.m., Florida Panthers face the Toronto Maple Leafs. Panthers on XM 223, Internet 931. Maple Leafs on Internet 946. 7:30 p.m., Detroit Red Wings face the Calgary Flames. Red Wings on Sirius 210, XM 221, and Internet 929. Flames on Internet 923. 7:30 p.m., Tampa Bay Lightning face the Washington Capitals. Lightning on Sirius 211, XM 222, and Internet 945. Capitals on Internet 950. 7:30 p.m., Columbus Blue Jackets take on the Montreal Canadiens. Blue Jackets on XM 392, Internet 927. Canadians on Internet 934. 7:30 p.m., New York Islanders take on the Boston Bruins. Islanders on XM 203, Internet 937. Bruins on Internet 921. 8 p.m., Nashville Predators face the Philadelphia Flyers. Predators on XM 204, Internet 935. Flyers on Internet 940. 8:30 p.m., Chicago Blackhawks take on the Dallas Stars. Blackhawks on XM 205, Internet 925. Stars on Internet 928. 10 p.m., LA Kings face the Winnipeg Jets. Kings on Sirius 208, XM 219, and Internet 932. Jets on Internet 951. 10 p.m., Seattle Kraken face the Anaheim Ducks. Kraken on Sirius 209, XM 220, and Internet 943. Ducks on Internet 920. 10 p.m., Colorado Avalanche take on the Vegas Golden Knights. Avalanche on Sirius and XM channels 91, Internet 926. Knights on Internet 949.
Follow every second of the action on NHL Network Radio. From behind the bench to every play on the ice. If it's hockey, it's on SiriusXM NHL Network Radio. SiriusXM 91.
Former owner of the Colorado Avalanche, Charlie Lyons, had 7 days to figure out how to keep Joe Sakic from joining the New York Rangers back in '97, and he stopped by SiriusXM NHL Network Radio with Steve Koulias to talk about how a little film called Air Force One helped him feel more confident in the face of this chaos and keep Sakic.
Okay. Coincident with that, we were releasing Air Force One. I had another company, Beacon Communications, run by two terrific film producers, Armin Bernstein and Mark Abraham. And we had decided to make a big movie. There's no guarantee how those things work out, but it was